everyone. GameHounds podcast. We are back. I'm back, at least. Did we hear from Andrew? Is he going to be on the show?
No. I mean, I assume not, because if he was, he'd already be here.
Point. Yeah, so we're back. I'm back. Nick's back. Well, Nick didn't leave.
I've always been here. I've never left you. I would never leave you. Listen.
Did you even do it? You only did one show.
Unlike Edie, I would never leave you.
You did do one show, right?
Yes.
And I was gone 2 weeks.
And I don't understand. That math adds up to me. That math adds up.
Oh, so God. Yeah, I'm back from
Jupiter, don't play with the cables.
Of course he plays with the cables. He's a cat.
Oh God.
Back from Disneyland and La La Land, and it was great. We did a classic. You know, I got to see a bunch of stuff that I'd never seen before that are considered LA tourist traps. Now, I lived there for 6 or 8 months right after college, but we didn't ever go and do anything. Like we went to some stuff, but we didn't ever do like the classic tourist things. But I went to La Brea Tar Pits.
Oh, cool.
I went to Norm's Diner, which
I don't know that one.
That is it's all in a lot of movies, like one of them days. The recent movie One of Them Days. She's that's some of the early scenes are filmed at Norm's because she's a manager at Norm's Diner.
Okay.
It's a very classic, like I'd say it's one step up from Denny's, but it's open 24 hours. It's a old fashioned classic diner, 24-hour diner. What do we do? We went to Tito's Tacos, which is another classic taco stand.
I think I went there the last time I was in LA for something, but I don't remember. But that sounds familiar.
We did a lot of very classic food stuff, and I got the Chris Conway tour of his childhood. I got to see where his family had grown up, where his dad used to live, where all of the houses that he ever lived in no longer exist.
Oh.
But I got to see in his apartment where he lived when he was working at Pandemic. The place where we stayed in Westwood was across the street from where the building where Pandemic was. And he's like, yeah, we were on the 17th and 18th floors of there. And we would get, going to some of the places around there, a ice cream shop that has $5 ice cream sandwiches that were amazing, that kind of stuff. Hi, Sarah. Please say hi to me. Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Another hi. And then
I bought
AC Wraith, always there.
Yeah. Hey, AC Wraith. So there's it was a good trip and enjoyed the heck out of it, but it was exhausting. But it was also nice to watch the show coming back from home on the Sunday when we were coming home, which was good to see you. And I thought about you guys a lot.
Good. Yeah, we had a good show last week. It was like a uniquely lighthearted week with no news of layoffs and firings. At least much.
What?
Not a whole lot of dark, sad news last week. It was like, okay, let's a little bit of fun things.
Yeah. So I have actually before we go, let's start the show. Oh my God, they've once again changed the interface on this. I love StreamYard. They keep changing the interface every time I come in, so they've changed it yet again. All right, let's start the show.
I see the media.
This podcast discusses video games, pop culture, and technology, and these podcasters have big, fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom said to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 816. We are recording this on Sunday, April 19th, 2026. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick DiNicola.
Hey.
Let's talk about what we were playing. I didn't really play much of anything. Actually, I take that back. I played, let me actually create a banner for it because I totally forgot that I did play a game while we were gone. And I played it on the Steam Deck, because I had to find something that played nicely, very nicely on the Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, because you're away for the 2 weeks, so
right.
Yeah.
So I played Esoteric Ebb on the Steam Deck.
Oh yeah, you had asked me about that.
And I'm not very far into it because we were running around so much. I never really had like time to sit down.
I mean, I also feel like I'm not that very far into it, and I played it for like 3-4 hours one night, and then I haven't gone back, even though I've wanted to. But other than Crimson Desert came out.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. I probably played. I mean, I played probably 3 hours, but because of the fact that it doesn't save, it has save points.
Mm-hmm.
So frequently I had to go back and replay something that I'd already done. And the one night that I had lots of time to do it, which was the night before we went to Disneyland, I made a tactical error. Now it is legal in California.
Oh, you mean like not a tactical error within the video game?
No, before I even touched the video game, we were in the hotel room, and Chris came down and showed me a little pod, and he's like, "You wanna?" I'm like, "Sure." So we went downstairs outside of the hotel and had a little hoot of the cannabis, and came back up, and this particular pod was much stronger than I am used to. And
Okay.
I sat down and I started to play it, and I realized, and it is a weird enough game where I guess they're kind of gods of each of your stats, like your dexterity god and your strength god and your constitution god.
Yeah.
They're all talking to you. So it's already kind of a confusing, not very straightforward game. Like you're trying to figure out, wait a minute, how is this playing together? Like, and different ones are giving you different advice as you're making decisions.
Like you literally have 5 voices in your head arguing with each other.
Right. And at the beginning of the game, before you've actually really understood, like grokked what the game is, it's a bit confusing. You're still trying to get your bearings. So I was still in the get your bearing stage, and I, had a little hoot and came back upstairs and lay down on the bed and pulled out the Steam Deck and realized, no way. I am way too high to be trying to figure this game out right now. So I put it down, pulled out my Kindle, and read the same page for a half an hour. Now, keep in mind, let me show you.
Okay.
A page of a book on Kindle. Let me show you how big a page of a book is on Kindle. This is a page, right? It's all of like maybe 10 lines.
Damn right it is.
I'm
not the Jim on this team.
Just read it over and over and over again. And I get to the end and it's like, did I understand anything I read? No. Okay, let's try it again. And after a certain point, I realized I can't even understand this book. I'm just going to sit here and stare at it so that nobody else knows how high I am right now.
I mean, you could.
But I was fully beep boop stage.
Just like watch something on TV. Just turn on TV and
the TV wasn't on, and it was me and the girl child and Chris, and we're all in the same room, and there was no way I was going to turn on a TV without somebody going, "Don't turn off the TV, I want to sleep," or "Turn off the TV, I'm relaxed," or whatever. And so I was just like, I'm just going to lie here and stare at this page.
I'm imagining
until I need to go to bed.
I'm imagining the girl in the middle of you. Both of the adults are just like wide-eyed. Oh my fucking god, I'm so fucking high. Oh god, Jesus Christ. And she's just like on her phone scrolling.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, jeez, fuck Christ, does she know? Does she? Oh, God, she knows. She fucking knows. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go to the bathroom for the next 4 hours. Oh,
Pretty
there's a
much.
movie. I haven't seen it yet,
Mhm.
but I've heard very good things about it. It came out on Hulu.
Mhm.
It's called Pizza Movie. And the premise is that these college kids order a pizza and it arrives, but they're all so fucking high that going from the dorm room to the front door to get their pizza becomes like this epic journey.
I love that. I'm gonna watch that. I'll
Yeah,
watch it as soon as we're done with this
it's
because
a really good
yeah.
premise.
So Esoteric Ebb,
Yeah.
from what I played of
I-
it, it is really unique and really interesting and totally funny. There's
Yeah.
an element of humor that y- you need to be very aware of. Have I died? I mean, I've died a couple of times in this room, and this is the room where you start. This is the absolute starting room. I've died a number of times to this zombie who's doing nothing but sorting apples.
Oh, I didn't fight the zombie. I felt bad fighting him because he's just sorting apples.
I fought him a couple of times. Because of the save feature, I actually ended up doing this particular thing over many times, like 3 or 4 times because
I
I
think
put it
things
down
are
and then I'd come
saved
back and I put it
this
down and
time.
I'd come
I
back.
think you can save because I feel like I've definitely saved.
You've saved, but I believe you can only do saves at those stones, at those rune stones. Anyway, maybe I
Oh,
didn't save it
that could be
properly.
true. Yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting, and it almost feels like it doesn't have that kind of strong narrative hand of like, here is your quest line. Like it wants to give you that, but you can actually go, I don't really want to do that. It's not on rails. The stories doesn't seem to be on rails. Now it may change. It may just be a very soft hand guiding you, which sometimes happens in these kinds of games. But I'm enjoying having these conversations, but at the same time, I always feel with a game where you can choose what you're going to say and it materially affects what the next dialogue option is, that I always feel like I might be missing something. Like you said, you didn't
Mm.
fight this zombie.
Oh yeah, yep.
I did, and got my ass kicked a number of times. So there's an element of risk to every interaction that you have. And if you don't get the optimal outcome of somebody telling you everything you wanna know, you feel like, "Oh, I missed something,"
Oh,
and I
did
hate
you?
that feeling.
Oh, because with this goblin, I tried to steal his crossbow
I did
multiple
too.
times.
Mhm.
Failed every time,
Yeah.
but I
I
was
think
able
in
to at
these
least like
early stages, you're
convince
not
him not to
allowed
kill me.
to. I could never beat the zombie,
Mm.
and I fought him a couple of different times, and same with this crossbow. And I realize that probably in these early stages, it definitely has a preset that you're not supposed to be able to beat this guy. It's not possible. It's just the way things happen. Like your rolls aren't, because each time that you have a skill check, your rolls are actual rolls. It tells you what the rolls is and what the skill check amount needs to be to have a successful roll like D&D.
Yeah.
And
What?
every time I did it, I never got a winning if I lost the roll, I lost it always.
Mm. Um.
And
What
it might
character
have been
were
a
you?
different roll, but it was definitely not. I think it's kind of got a governor on it that doesn't let you
I mean, I think
make
it's just a
successful
hard
rolls.
DC check.
No, I had a couple that were not hard DC checks, and I still failed every time. And I think, like I said, I
I
think there
think
might be a little bit of a governor on
I don't
these
know because
early things. Now, maybe not the rest of the game, but the early things, because this is sort of the tutorial area. You are learning the game, and
yeah.
it would behoove you, but as a developer, to kind of put a little bit of a control on what exactly happens here so that you know that somebody gets the full tutorial that they expect and need. And then once you get to a certain spot, then the game opens up and it's 100% RNG. But It's a very fun, very entertaining game, but you definitely need to be straight,
Yeah. Well, there's
sober.
so much lore that it throws at you. Like it is a
Yes.
text
Yes.
and information heavy game because like Baldur's Gate, and it does it in a good way. Every conversation has like some item, some words highlighted, and you can zoom in on that word to see the definition. So it's like, oh, what are the I don't know what is EBS? What is EB? Oh, EB is a magic system that's used by the esoterics. Who are the esoterics? Oh, they're the governors of Pylim.
Right.
What's Pylim? And I'm just making up words, but like,
They're like footnotes.
yeah,
They're
the footnotes,
footnotes. They're
but
like a
you can go.
Wikipedia link where it's underlined and you've got a link to it, and if you click on it, then it opens it up and gives a little explanation. And you can choose to do it. And the thing is that it slows down the game at these very early stages because they're talking to you as if you know what this is, and with this hyperlink that you can look up and
Yeah, the
figure and fit the
conversation stops
definition.
time. So you're
It
not like
stop
time isn't
time.
moving when you even though there is a timer that ticks up every time you do an action. And so you are if the game begins when you wake up basically in a morgue and you're told, "Oh yeah, your body was fished out of the river." You're also told that you're like kind of a detective slash cop and you were tasked with investigating the bombing of this tea shop that may be politically motivated because there's going to be an election happening soon and it's the first election in this fantasy world, and so there's all these different political factions that represent different sides,
Oh, and that's
and
confusing as hell. The factions are all
each
very
of
confusing.
your abilities, dexterity, strength, intelligence, wisdom is aligned with one of those different factions. So by choosing your role playing character, you're also kind of choosing a side in the political situation. But you can also just ignore all of that and just like, I don't know, I'm going to investigate. I want to wander around and see what's going on. And you just wander around. But time ticks forward when you do that, and you have 5 days. So yeah, it completely lets you off the rails to go and investigate whatever you want. Uh, but like you're still on a time limit, and so I imagine this is a game that the first time I was playing it, I wasn't thinking about the time, I wasn't thinking about the story, I was just kind of wandering around talking to people. I was like, hey, there's a bird's nest out on that ledge. I'm gonna try to get it. I could fall and die, but you know what? I'm gonna get this. I was talking to a an orc. Oh yeah, let's see if I can find it. Did you get to
Oh, I
the
guess you
orc?
can save anytime. I just didn't do that.
Yeah, did you get to her?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
As soon as you leave
Oh, yes. No, I
that
did get to
study
her.
area,
Yes, I did get to her. I did get to
yeah,
her. I'm sorry.
she's like this basically a cop who's there's an illegal protest or like an illegal gathering of people, but she's like, I don't know if it's illegal or not. I don't think they have the right papers. They won't show it to me. And you can decide, do I want to go over to those guys, convince them I'm on their side, look at their papers, see if they're legit. And in doing so, you can one of the PC Gamer reviews of it talked about how he was flirting with this orc and he failed the flirtation so hard that he took damage and literally died.
Yeah, I could see the replayability on this being very high, but
Oh
it
yeah, absolutely.
it works beautifully on the Steam Deck. I can't complain at all. And
Yeah, it's
I'm
built to be
too
played with a
early in to
controller.
say if it's a great game or not. I mean, I'm at this stage, which I literally just left the beginning area, but I'm planning on playing more of it uh, as it goes. Then I also did find both of the Steam Decks, so I am going to be selling one
Mm,
because now is the time to sell your Steam Deck. If you have Steam Deck you want to get rid of, now is the time to sell it.
yeah.
So yeah, that's Esoteric Ebb. I don't know if I recommend it yet, but I certainly am intrigued enough to want
I
to play
feel
it.
like if you like Baldur's Gate 3, then you owe it to yourself to play Esoteric Ebb. Or the other one that everyone loved, the really political RPG, Disco Elysium.
Right. Right.
If you like either of those two games, you will probably really like this game.
Yeah. So, what did you play?
I played. Let me share my screen. I played one of the big games to come out this week, but it was not Pragmata, even though I did get Pragmata. I played Replaced. Replaced
right.
is oh god, this is a terrible part because it's so dark. It's a like pixel art cyberpunk side scroller. It's like a cinematic side scroller, is what they say, which is a
Mhm.
good way to describe it because yes, it's a side scroller, but you're not, and there is some platforming, but it's not really a platformer. You're not.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Meme the Nard says no Steam Deck selling. Why wouldn't I sell one of my Steam Decks? I want to
Jupiter.
know because I have two. Remember, I lost my first one, bought the OLED second one, and then found the first one again. So I have two. I only need one.
Yeah, I plan to sell the PS5 that I have.
Right. Anyway, so you were saying replaced.
Yeah. So cinematic platformer, because there is some platforming, there is some jumping, but it's more puzzly and slow. Oh, he says, Maynard says, you never know if you'll need a second one, or at least sell it to someone who really wants one. It sounds like he wants it.
No, he has one.
Oh.
He's the one that made me buy mine because he told me how great it was.
She wants to sell the rat poo covered one.
No, it's not covered in rat poo. Nothing's covered in rat poo. I've played both of them because I occasionally lose one or the other. No, lose it. I misplace it.
Maybe you should keep both.
No, I don't need both. I'm not. That's the problem with two. It's hard to keep track. It's like which one is the one that's in the other room? Is it both of them or only one of them? Where if you only have one, you know exactly where you put it last because that's where you played it last. So I am gonna get rid of the first gen low res one, and I'm going base model, and I'm gonna keep my high end OLED one. Also, I need
Okay,
the money.
he's leaning in. He's all in. You're gonna kick yourself if you do it.
Why? Why would I kick myself? I have two, and one of them I am not playing. It's in a drawer,
Yeah.
and I put
Also,
it.
I don't.
Yeah,
I only have one ally. I don't need
yeah.
two.
I don't need two. Anyway, you were
Anyways,
saying about
so yes,
replaced.
replaced cinematic platformer because there
Mhm.
is platforming, but it's kind of slow paced and more puzzle focused. There is a lot of combat, but it's kind of simple yet enjoyable. It's very Arkham Asylum in that you'll have people on both sides of you, and if they flash yellow, you have to hit a button to counter them. If they flash red, then you have to dodge them. And so you're kind of balancing this dodge and counter, dodge and counter. You can be hitting a guy, then another one will run up behind you and you can immediately counter him. I should have a video of this going. But the animation is so smooth and so fluid during a lot of the fights, a lot of the movement. Everything about it just looks so beautiful. The way the lighting works in this game, it sometimes the camera zooms in close and you'll see that even though it looks like it's all pixel art, it almost feels like there are
Ooh.
3D models with pixel art pasted over it. And that allows the camera to kind of sweep and zoom and pan. And so pixel art, which is normally like a 2D plane, suddenly becomes 3D.
Right,
And the
like
way
this
that,
one that you just showed was the focus, a switch focus from near to far.
yeah.
So you get a sense of depth to it, even though it is 2D.
Oh, and the camera is constantly doing the like tilt shift focus where like it'll focus on something in the mid ground, but something in the foreground appears and it's very deeply out of focus. And it uses that focus to give it a really cinematic presentation. Couple that with the lighting, it's like really high-end modern day lighting applied to hyper detailed pixel art graphics that is this really cool combination of low tech and high tech graphics. Just make it look really stunning. For as long as
Maynard
I've known
says,
you, Edie, you're going to misplace one no matter what.
no, if I have two, I will misplace one. If I have one, I always know where it is.
Okay, AC Wraith, make a note of this episode. If Edie ever loses the one Steam Deck that she has, Maynard, you have been justified.
Yeah.
Edie owes you a
Maynard,
pizza at that point.
I'll send you a pizza. Deal.
But yeah, so because it looks very beautiful, the combat and platforming are both decent. I think the platforming is a little more frustrating than the combat. The combat's genuinely fun and exciting. The platforming, because everything is so hyper detailed, it's sometimes difficult to tell where you're supposed to go next. So I'm going to jump up here, and then I could go either up or I could go left. I'm going to choose one, and if I die, I'm just going to start over and then choose the other one. So that can get a little annoying. But the real draw of this game is the story. Like, it is a story-driven game through and through. It's kind of a slow-paced, meditative pace to it. Even it embraces a lot of kind of cheesy cyberpunk tropes. You begin as like this guy at a computer, and in the very beginning, something happens, and you are an AI that gets sucked into a person's body. And then through circumstances, you end up flushed down the sewer and out of this megacity and into, the kind of post-apocalyptic dredges of society that exist outside of the walls. So you're an AI in the body of the creator of the AI, and has that AI. You're like, he's constantly talking to himself, like, "Oh, Warren, I will protect your body. Oh, Warren, this is unusual. Warren, this is cold." Because Warren is the name of the human, and the AI is not actually part of the body. So Warren doesn't exist at this point. So it's kind of just the robot talking to itself. But that makes for very interesting interactions as you suddenly wake up on the outskirts of this megacity, and the story kind of slowly unfolds a lot of the history of this world. I think the way that it handles backstory is really cool, because you start in this like post-apocalyptic wasteland outside of the city. A lot of the notes that you find, they'll relate to the history. And so you realize this is like an alternate history 1984, where the Manhattan Project basically destroyed America. Like, oh, we were working on the Manhattan Project, but some nukes accidentally went off. And they accidentally went off in like multiple places. And so the United States becomes like this post-apocalyptic hellscape where everyone is infected with radiation. And in that society, a group of people emerge. They're like, "Oh no, we're doctors and we're scientists and we want to better everyone." Because everyone is basically infected with radiation sickness, everyone like needs their organs replaced. And so organ replacement becomes like one of the most common medical procedures in the country. And the like group of doctors and scientists that want to save people start a corporation. And over time, that corporation becomes more and more powerful. And like you get a little teasing bit of backstory of like Kennedy talking about how this corporation is like secretly taking over the country. You get like little bits about how basically it's a cyberpunk world where, any good cyberpunk has a megacorp at the center of it. And in the opening hours of this game as you explore outside of the city, it's telling a story of how that megacorp came to be, which is a really interesting way to start a cyberpunk story, because normally you just start it and the mega corporation exists. And this one is like giving you the history of why does this mega corporation exist? Why is everyone getting organ replacement therapy? Like, what is going on here? And the game is giving you like this really detailed history of the world. And as it does that, every now and then you come across little bits of extra information. Like I'm reading a forum. Your computer is named Reach. It's an acronym for something. I don't know what, but it's Reach. And as I'm reading through a forum of people complaining about the megacorp, they're like, oh, yeah, we know that Reach, these protesters, Reach found them and got rid of them. And like, Reach doesn't exist. That's just a conspiracy. I'm like, what the fuck? What am I? What is Reach? And what is Reach's relationship to the world? And like, what is going on in this world? What is this mega corporation doing? Like flushing bodies out of the sewer into this post-apocalypse. And so the story is really, really interesting. I really want to see what's going. Couple that with this, like the really beautiful presentation and the fun action. And like, this is just a really awesome sci-fi cyberpunk story.
It looks so beautiful.
It really
For
does.
a 2D platformer, 2.5,
Yeah.
2.5D platformer. It's beautiful. And the camera work is gorgeous.
This
The
only exists.
lighting.
This only came out on PC and Xbox, which is weird.
Oh,
Skip PlayStation for some reason.
yeah.
But I bought it on PC, so I'm playing it on my Rogue Ally. Part of me is like, oh God, should I, because it's part of Game Pass. And part of me is like, I've still got a code for Game Pass, like a free month. Should I just use that so I can play it on the big screen? But now I'm too deep into it. But part of me, really wants to play this on a big high def screen instead of my handheld, even though it works really well on the handheld. Just the visuals are so, like I said, hyper detailed that I want to see it blown up as big as possible.
I am here. I am listening. I also have a ton of laundry that I have to do left over from the trip.
Yeah.
So I am having to do multiple loads of laundry today. So that's what I'm doing is I'm doing laundry.
Yeah.
So how much was it? Was it
$20?
not bad.
No, not bad at all.
Is it the same price on Xbox? Do you know?
I mean, I assume so. I actually got it for $17 on Steam, in the same way that you got John Carpenter's Toxic Commando as part of a bundle.
Huh?
This is also part of a bundle, but I owned the other game in the bundle. So the
Oh,
bundle
nice.
technically included Just Replaced, but as part of the bundle, you get like 10% off both games. So I could get 10% off of this one because it was part of that bundle.
Oh, good deal.
But yeah, it's totally worth $17 to $20, like easily.
So how far into it are you at this point?
Based on this video that says it is an 8.5 hour game, I am. Oh God, I'm 2.5 hours in.
Oh, so you got lots to go.
I got long ways to go, but also, I'm not 2.5 hours in. I am significantly longer in because I am playing slow.
Well, yeah, that's how I play too most of the time. Well, that sounds like it's given. I mean, I'm not using their numbers as the length, but $20, that's a pretty good deal, actually.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm 6 hours into the game, and my 6 hours, I'm about twice as long into it as this person is. So
Okay.
where they are at 3 hours, I am at 6 hours. But I have also, like, because I'm playing it on the Ally, So I will pause it, put the ally down, go do other things for half an hour, and then come back to the game and pick it up and start playing again.
Yeah. Well, that's not so bad.
But yeah, it's, as AC Wraith says, it is part of Game Pass, and it's $20 on Xbox if you want to buy it or get Game Pass Ultimate. And he also points out that I still have to play Stardew Valley because the Xbox Rogue Ally ended up being more expensive than the normal version.
Yeah, you do. In fact, I forgot to pull up. That's something I want to bring up in news that actually involves Stardew Valley. So I will remember to do that. But yeah, you do. You do need to play Stardew Valley.
I want.
And if you ever want, this is totally unrelated, but sort of, when it's talking about long games like this that have a multiplayer aspect to it. So the guy that I hired to be my, I don't say underling. What do you call it? The supervisor? What's the underneath the supervisor is the what?
Assistant?
I guess you'd call him my assistant. But
Secretary?
he's essentially he's the assistant that does my job up in Sacramento, that I am his supervisor.
Okay.
And I hired him. And I did not hire him because he's a cosplayer, but it didn't hurt. He was talking about how he was thinking of getting a new computer because I was saying that we were buying all new laptops with the new MacBook Neo being so cheap, and all of the Macs in our company are very old. And so essentially taking them in, selling them, and then getting the new MacBook Neo because they're $700, $600 for the high-end one. And he had said, "Oh, wow, that is really cheap." And I'm like, "They're getting great reviews." He goes, "Yeah, I was actually thinking about maybe I need to upgrade my own personal computer on my personal laptop because it's showing its age. It's struggling with some games." And I'm like, "You don't want a MacBook Neo because the max that they come with is 8 gigs of RAM. And that's not enough." I go, "Do you play games?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, I can't wait. I'm 37 days away from graduating, from being done with school. And when that happens, I am going to go back to Crusader Kings 3. And I'm like, my brother, my people.
Yeah. And you're like, "You're hired."
That's right. You're hired again. Yeah, he's a huge Crusader Kings fan. I'm like, I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you. Also, you cannot play Crusader Kings on 8 gigs of RAM. That's not going to work. You're going to need at least 16, probably 32, because it is a very crunchy game. And so we're going to be, I like the next day on Saturday morning, I sent him a text and I'm like, "When you're done with school, we're going to be playing some Crusader Kings multiplayer. Let's do this."
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that.
Mm-hmm. So, but yes, you do need to play Stardew Valley, more of it.
Then, maybe.
All right. Any other game that you played other than Replaced?
I'm still man. Crimson Desert is going to be my on and off again game for the next like 12 months.
Really? Is it all that?
I fucking love this game. This game is it's so cool. I've unlocked like the ability to clothesline people and body slam them. And so every time I get into new combat scenarios, I'm just like, I'm gonna throw out my whip, bring you toward me, and then clothesline you. Then another guy's gonna come at me. I'm gonna jump flip over him, has him in the air, body slam down onto him. Then I'm gonna take another guy, suplex him. Then I'm gonna whip out my great sword and just do like a bunch of spinning slashes to cut my way through a group. Then switch to my one-handed weapon and like focus on one guy, switch to double-handed weapons. And as you unlock all those different abilities and you start realizing how you can chain things together, I'm gonna like jump kick a guy and then combo that jump kick into a spin, and I'm gonna hold on to the guy's legs, spin him around me, knocking other guys until I let go of him and throw him off a cliff. And it's like, oh, this is fucking cool. But I also just really love the world. the part where I'm at, which look, I took my time with the main missions, but also the story is getting really interesting at hour 90. I'm
Hour
only
90.
I'm only 90 hours in, and the story is
My
getting really
God.
interesting.
God.
Which look, I think there's more to the game that kept me playing through those 90 hours, and I want to keep playing even without the good story. But like I said, it begins with you like recreating and building back up your mercenary band in the country of Hernand. And what I've realized is that, your mercenary group, the Greymanes, used to be big in Pyloon, which is like the country to the north. But then you got fucked up. You were murdered? Like you got your throat slit and then you came back to life? Don't know how that happened. You got your throat slit, I fell in a river, and then I woke up in a bed like a month later.
Kind
We
of
don't
like
talk
esoteric Ebb.
we don't talk about that. We don't talk about the magical rebirth. We don't talk about why I'm suddenly God's chosen warrior to save the world. Don't worry about it. But you wake up in Hernand, and so you're like restarting your mercenary group in this other country. And where I am now in the story, the mercenary group that took over Pyloon after they killed the Greymanes is starting to like wage war with Hernand. And so that moment in the demo that we played at PAX, where there's the big war and the big two forces fighting each other, I got to that point in the main game. And so I realized, this is Hernand going to war with the mercenaries of Pyloon. And it's like, this is actually really interesting. I'm seeing the history of my character and my group. Like, we got kicked out of this country and that allowed the bad guys to take it over. Now we're getting strong in this country and we're going to try to take back our original country that they kicked us out of. It's like, it's all like the lore is starting to come together. It's like,
Mhm.
this is cool. I like where this is going. So, yeah, after 90 hours, I think the story is really interesting. But for those 90 hours, I also think it's really interesting just wandering the world and seeing what you run into. I really love the combat. I really love the traversal. I love the puzzles that you come across. I had said before that the way it incorporates combat mechanics into puzzles and puzzle mechanics into combat is really, really clever. And I want to keep playing it.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but fantastic stuff about Crimson Desert. When I start to see a bunch of tips and tricks, like when I get notifications from YouTube of some YouTuber putting up 10 things you might have missed in Crimson Desert, and when I start seeing multiple ones of those, I know that it's definitely captured the imagination of the gaming universe.
I feel like Crimson Desert is the next Elden Ring in that it has created this cottage industry of YouTube video tips and tricks. Because like Elden Ring infamously like fed YouTubers content for a year and a half after it came out of just things to do in Elden Ring, things you missed in Elden Ring. Where do you get this weapon in Elden Ring? Where do you get this armor in Elden Ring? All that same shit applies here. And I'm every time I click on a video of like, oh wow, that looks like a really cool piece of armor. Where do you get that? Oh, it's on the other side of the fucking world. And I'm just like, pause, save that video for later. I am not getting to that anytime soon.
Yeah.
But some of their tip videos are like actually really useful. And to Pearl Abyss's credit, they've been patching the hell out of the game. And so a lot of the inventory is better than it was before. The fast travel works faster than it did before. Movement feels better. They've added more movement mechanics. There was a glitch in the game, a bug, where if you jumped off a cliff and you started gliding and you went into focus mode and did an aerial roll while in the focus mode, that gave you a big boost of speed. And so that allowed you to cover a lot of ground when gliding really quickly. That was a bug. That wasn't actually meant to be there. And they patched that out, but then they patched in an ability in the skill tree that basically unlocks that bug. So they're like, oh, we have a bug. People really like it. Let's just make it a feature.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So, but Crimson Desert, I'm never gonna play it. It's just I was so put off by the demo up at PAX just because I found it unplayable for my playstyle. I just it was not, and to find out that that's deep into the game is a little more
yeah.
encouraging to me, that, it doesn't start there. You ramp up to that.
Also, like, that demo was a much more condensed version of that sequence, because that demo basically said, oh, there's a big war, go over here, fight this guy, then go over here and fight the boss. In the main game, that's like, oh, go and just be part of the war. And basically, the whole country is a giant combat scenario with enemies everywhere. And you'll run across someone who's like, oh, one of our guys is injured over there. Can you go rescue them? And you do that. Another guy's like, oh, we have people injured over there. So you're finding side quests within the battlefield that you can then do. So it's not just a straight shot, go do this and get the boss. It's like a mini campaign. And then, oh God. So one of the things that's cool about this game, has part of this, when I advanced far enough, the enemies broke out their infamous weapons of war, which are, the Leonardo da Vinci designed ancient tanks,
Mm-hmm.
the like wooden tanks that have like cannons sticking out of 5 different sides.
Right.
Those appear on the battlefield. And so you just have these ancient tanks everywhere. You have an ability where you can stop projectiles. And normally you use that to, hey, if there's a bunch of people shooting arrows, you can like do your magic stuff, catch all the arrows, and then shoot those arrows back at people. Turns out that also works for cannonballs. So I run up in front of this giant tank, do my magic shit, and it shoots a bunch of cannonballs at me, and I'm just like, fuck you. Shoot them all back at it, and it blows up, and it's so satisfying.
AC Ray says, all of the mainstream reviews have been rendered useless. I'm having a hard time with the notion that review on release is the only method they can use. I can't have pity for a review system that is worthless to players. It's just early spam to catch views.
Like, there's definitely validity to a review. Like, look, a game comes out, people want to know what's it like. So you need some sort of review system. But yeah, when the developer patches out a lot of the problems that reviewers have, then yeah, those early reviews become like less accurate. I know the PC Gamer guy had one of the people who reviewed it for PC Gamer, I think they had another article that was like, I kind of want to re-review this game because I'm like 100 hours past where I was when I posted the review, and I'm liking it a lot more. But like, is that even a valid thing?
Is that fair?
And is it fair to say, hey, this game is like kind of tough for 90 hours, but after 90 hours, it gets really good. It's like, well, if that's the review, if that's what you want to change it to, because those opening hours are like kind of slow and clunky. I think it's really interesting world. I kind of don't mind slow and clunky, but I say you're rebuilding your mercenary team, right? Every time you get a new person on your mercenary team, but like you get someone on your mercenary team, Bob is now on your team. Okay, Bob has a quest for you. Can you go like pick some berries for me? Okay, I'm gonna go pick some berries for Bob and bring it back. I get a new one. Jane is on the team now. Jane is like, hey, come do this arrow shooting mini game with me. And it's like, oh, okay. I see all of these little missions are meant to be tutorials for all of the different mechanics, but you get those people so deep into the game that it's like, oh, I'm 20 hours in and you're teaching me how to pet a cat. It's like, there's a little bit of a pacing issue here, but also I think it's cool that you keep introducing new things late into the game. But like that's a cool part of the design of like, look, it's a just go with it. Just like you have to let yourself go to its speed. You can't rush through it. You just kind of have to vibe with the world. And if you vibe with the world, you'll love it. But if you don't vibe with the world, I don't think you can force it.
Yeah. Well, it's a it may be the Elden Ring of, my next Elden Ring, meaning the game that I'm never going to touch, but I'm always going to respect. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I hate spending that kind of money on a game that I am not that I have to spend 90 hours to determine that I don't like.
Look, you will determine if you don't like it before that.
Right. And as someone who spent a bunch of money on the game now that we're probably going to talk about in the news about how it's the second greatest game ever in our lifetime. And I played 10 hours of it and decided I really didn't like it. Not that it's a bad game, it's just not for me, which would be all I got is esoteric ebb in my head.
Starfield?
No, God, no.
The game that you played for 10
the game that
hours.
just won all 5, the only other game to won all 5.
Oh, your bad take. Your terrible, awful take about one of the grandest masterpieces ever committed in human history.
There it is.
Expedition 33.
Expedition 33, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I can't I just
Oh, that game is so good. It's so good.
It didn't hit, and I'm not saying it's not a good game. Obviously, it's a good game. Universally a good game. Not for me. I just didn't. I might try again. I spent a lot of money on it to get 10 hours, 5.5 hours in and go,
Look, I understand.
I find it a bit, uber pretentious kind of,
I felt the same way against Breath of the Wild. Like everyone's like, masterpiece, it's a masterpiece. I'm like, God, this game's kind of boring as hell. So I get it. I get it.
The whole time
you're
it's
wrong.
like
You're wrong, but I get it.
slow
I may be
and
wrong.
intentionally trying to be beautiful. And like that whole opening sequence of walking around and talking to people, it just was like,
oh, that opening sequence is great.
No,
God damn it! I need
like
Andrew.
it.
I need Andrew here to back me up. I need this to be 2 against 1.
You don't have to. You don't. That's the thing, is that I know it's great. It just didn't land on me.
Yeah.
I'm the outlier. It just didn't land. And then going into and then once I got to the actual fighting, the fighting was didn't really like it. So, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, AC Wraith linked to an article on PC Gamer. It's been a month since release, and I'm not sure Pearl Abyss knows what it wants Crimson Desert to be, which is an interesting article because it talks about how, yeah, they keep patching out all this stuff. They keep patching the game to make it like more user friendly, but like, did they want it to be user unfriendly? Like, are you patching out your vision of the game? What is this? And I've read the article, and I can say that the things they've patched out it's a lot of quality of life things. The core fundamental design of the game is still there. And that core fundamental is like a little funky. It's a little weird. It's a little like, what the fuck were you thinking? I don't know. I like what you were thinking, but it's still weird. So I don't think the game has lost its identity in any way. I think it's very much retained its quirkiness, but made it less of a pain in the ass. No, AC Wraith says, I still say Shadow of the Colossus is overhyped and I bought it week 1. Another wrong opinion. That's like one of the best games ever made.
I'm right there with you. AC Wraith, you and I should create a club of like people who hated the best game ever made. I'm very classic for that.
I mean, like I said, I would join that club.
No,
We just
yeah.
need to do like a special podcast of like, what game did you hate that everyone else loved?
And why?
Yeah.
Going into detail of why. Now, Elden Ring is not fair because I never played it.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I knew its reputation and I knew that I would not enjoy it. Now, have I been very tempted to try it just to do it? Yes. Do I have the money to spend on Elden Ring just to try it and have my suspicions confirmed? No, I
You
don't
just
have
play
that
it on
money per
Chris's
se.
computer.
No, see, that's the thing. If I play it on Chris's computer, then Chris has to be around for that. I don't want anyone around me. I need to be playing this in a safe space where nobody is over my shoulder asking me about it, telling me how to feel about it, watching me and going, wow, you're really suck at this. I don't want that. I need to be playing it in my apartment, in my safe space with no judgment of just trying it for myself, and whatever happens there, no one can ever speak of, no one knows. If it's like I need to play it in Vegas, what happens in my apartment stays in my apartment. I don't want someone
You need
standing
to
over
have a
me.
secret affair with Elden Ring, is what you're saying.
If I play Elden Ring, I 100% will never tell Chris Conway. Because he will just be asking me about it and on it the whole time. This I am going to play in secret. And then if I end up liking it, then I will say, come back sometime later and say, I really liked it. But it's going to have to be many hours in before I do that. So
there was a I forget, it was like a YouTube, a TikTok, some like short little video where it was a girlfriend who went and like purposefully learned a bunch of Elden Ring lore. And she was watching her boyfriend play it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, is that like Millennia of the Shadows?" And her boyfriend's like, what the fuck? How do you know that name?" She's like, "Oh, you don't? Okay." And she walked away, and he's just like, "What the fuck?" Then she came up to again, she's like watching him. "Oh yeah, no, you need to dodge roll to counter that." It's like, "What the fuck? How do you know?" It was very funny.
Yeah. So
and in the chat, AC Ray says, "I didn't quite hate Shadow of the Colossus. I just thought it was meh, empty space with a really annoying horse."
So, any other games other than Crimson Desert and
No,
Deserted?
I did buy Pragmata, and I've heard
Mhm.
good things about Pragmata, and I want to get to it, but this week I'm focusing on Replaced.
So, movies. I saw the Mario movie at Grauman's Chinese Theater.
I'm
Another
sorry.
one of those classic things. Yeah, it's really
I've heard that it's not particularly good.
it is so not good. And you know, I had said to them, I'm not a Mario person. I haven't ever played a Mario game, and of course I get the same look every time from everybody. You've never played a Mario game, and I have to go through okay, all right, here's my gaming history. It came out when I was in college. I wasn't playing video games in college. I played before college and I played after college. But yeah, no, it wasn't a good movie. And yesterday, I saw two movies. I saw The Master for the first time because that was one of the movies Kevin worked on, and it was they were playing it on the big screen at Alamo Drafthouse, so I went and saw that. Very good movie. Feels like there's about 10 minutes to 15 minutes of that movie that ended up on the cutting room floor. But very good movie, and even Kevin had said when he goes, it was a really interesting film. And I saw Normal, the Odenkirk film.
Oh, that got like no marketing. I saw
None.
posters for it, but I don't think I saw a
Yes.
trailer anywhere.
Have you seen it?
I
Bob
I
Odenkirk.
don't plan on seeing it though, because it basically looked like a ripoff of Nobody with the same actor from Nobody and like the same writers as Nobody.
Well, no, Odenkirk wrote it.
Oh, he did.
wrote it
okay.
and produced it and acted in it.
Hmm.
So we were actually remarking on the way back from the theater that Bob Odenkirk plays one character really, really well. He's just a blank trying to blank. He's just a lawyer trying to defend a bunch of criminals. He's just a hitman trying to take his kids on vacation. In this case, he's just a sheriff trying to get to spend 6, 7, 8 weeks as an interim sheriff to get rid of his inner demons. And yeah, he's just a normal guy with a kind of sort of interesting job trying to do something, and it all turns into an action film. It turns into it's always in a morally gray space where it's like, well, shit, I guess I gotta do it. And that's what this is. He plays a sheriff who had a where he was sheriff in some county, doesn't really say where, that he was involved in a shooting that did not do what that kind of caused mental and moral issues for him. And he accepts a post in a little town called Morrill, Minnesota.
Naturally.
Sorry, Normal, not Morrill. Normal,
okay.
Minnesota. That's what it's called, Normal. He's an interim sheriff for 8 weeks because the old sheriff died of a heart attack out in the snow. And he gets to this town and come to find out that there's more going on in Normal than one would think of a little town in upstate Minnesota in the winter of 1,300 people. There's a town secret that has to do with the Yakuza. And hijinks and misfired weapons ensue. And
Hijinks and misfired weapons.
A lot of heads explode. A lot of heads explode.
Okay, head exploding. Not where I thought this was going.
No, a lot of heads get blown off. It's a bit like his previous movie, which was the one where he played the hitman who just wants to
nobody.
hitman who just wants to take his kids on vacation. Nobody. Yeah, a somewhat similar in that he just wants to go and do this thing and goes into this town, and there's a deep, dark secret in the town that he ends up being involved with, and he has to essentially extricate himself from the situation by essentially going Schwarzenegger on it. Going Odenkirk on it.
Would you rank it above or below Nobody? I guess Nobody 2 specifically.
But I'd say if I was going to pick 1, 2, and 1 would be Nobody, 2 would be Normal. If you like Nobody, you'll like Normal. You'll say Nobody was probably a little better.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah, and the mayor is Henry Winkler.
That got AC Wraith excited.
Yes, and I'm not going to say that his head explodes. His head doesn't explode.
Okay, good. Don't explode, Henry Winkler.
Oh, I didn't say he didn't explode. I said his head did.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, not just his head.
Oh God, poor Henry Winkler.
Oh yeah, Henry Winkler's death is pretty spectacular.
I guess if we're talking about movies, I can briefly say I saw the other big video game adaptation that came out a couple weeks ago.
Exit 8?
Exit 8.
We almost went to see it. I saw the description and I'm like, nope.
It's not a scary movie. Like
I hear it fills you with existential dread from the minute it starts to the minute it ends.
I mean, I guess look, horror, a lot of horror is subjective. It's not a particularly gory or gruesome movie. It's just about the game, a guy kind of stuck in a loop and he's in this hallway. The way it's filmed is really cool because it does a lot of long takes of him walking down the hallway and the camera just follows him. And a lot of times there's one scene where it's in front of him and he's walking forward and he's looking for anomalies. And you can see the back of the sign above, and the back of the sign above says turn back, turn back, turn back. But he's just walking forward check that, check that, check that, check that, check that. It's all cool, all good, man. I'm gonna keep going. And you're like, no, man, no. So
Turn
there's a
around,
there's
turn
a
around.
lot of fun, you were looking for anomalies with the character, and sometimes you'll spot it before him. And so there's like a fun, it's like watching a Twitch streamer play a game. But there's a little bit more narrative heft. It's like, oh, his girlfriend's pregnant, and like he has to think about, oh, what does that mean? What do I want? I'm stuck in here. What am I going to do when I get out? I wouldn't say it's like a deeply existential, terrifying movie. It's just like a good suspense movie. Some of the sequences are like, ooh, this is really good. And other sequences are like, okay, let's see what's going on. It actually jumps perspective to different people in a way that's interesting, that kind of expands the lore of the tunnel. But yeah, it's just a very solidly put together movie.
Chris is seeing it today with Claire, with the
Yeah.
girl child.
Yeah, good movie. I would put Iron Lung above it. I particularly loved Iron Lung. I think that one is way more like existentially terrifying.
Hated Iron Lung.
Fucking
Hated Iron Lung.
loved it. But yeah, Exit 8 is good.
Okay. Well, we'll see what Chris says, because everybody has different takes on everything. Certainly
Mhm.
him. All right. So, shall we hit the news?
Yeah.
She says knowingly. Need to get to my media assets. All right, then. Let's hit the news. This is the GameHound's news, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie and Nick Nicola. And our first item is
Well, following off of what our main story was last week, that Rockstar got hacked and the hackers basically said, pay us a bunch of money or we're going to release information about you. Don't be a headline. Well, they became a headline after, and it's very clear why Rockstar would not pay them, because they didn't actually have any information. The
They didn't.
the biggest stuff they had is financial information about GTA Online and Red Dead Online, and specifically that GTA Online is raking in about like I think it was like 500 million a year. It was
much
a lot, and like because of that, like Take-Two shares rose a little bit.
Take-Two share owner right here. Bought some. I
So-
have had it for quite some time. I've had it for many months.
Yeah, that's a good time to have
Thank
it. So,
hackers. Thank you. Thank you. You made me money.
so yeah, the big news story of last week turned out to be not so much a nothing burger, but like a positive spin.
Yeah. That's exactly when I heard that Take-Two had been hacked and they were being ransomed for it. I immediately thought to myself, who the fuck cares? Whatever they got, as
Yeah.
long as they don't have the whole game, as long as they don't have the source code for the game, it can only be good. This is not going to affect GTA sales at all.
Like, even if it was
GTA is going to
information.
sell, even if it's a bad game, it's going to sell a lot.
And even
It's
if they
going to
had
be a good
information
game, but
about GTA 6 that they could leak, all that would do is just, here's a new feature in GTA 6, and people would
Exactly,
get excited for it.
it would be, they almost did free promotion for GTA by doing what they did. All it did was put GTA, and if they'd have had screenshots or artwork or even just information about features, great. Fantastic. This would be good for GTA. GTA is not like any other game where if you release stuff at a different time or you have this grand scheme for a very curated marketing effort. GTA could talk about the size and color of the CEO's last dump, and it would be good news for GTA. No one would care. It's going to sell, whether they say something or whether they don't say something. All they did was bump the stock.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye. So, I was very pleased to see my Take-Two stock go right during while I was on trip. Now, this is in my 401k, so it's not going to materially affect my life today, but it did bump up quite significantly.
Take any raise you can get.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm not in any shape to tell GTA how to do what they're doing, but whatever they're doing, keep doing it, Take-Two. You're doing fine. And I know that we were talking about actually release dates. I was talking about it with Chris yesterday with GTA and with the next
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty coming out. And he's like, "Oh yeah, when is?" Because he's doing a little work on that Call of Duty right now. And he's like, they're really close to being at lockdown where there's no more code changes. And they're having me do some work on it. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. He goes, when is that release date? And I was like, it's got to be like October, November. And of course, I looked it up and it's like October, I want to say 16th or something. And I said, well, yeah, that makes sense because there's going to be a November release for GTA. And nobody wants to release in November. Nobody. You either going to go to no later than mid-October or no later than mid-December because that entire 60 days nobody's going to be doing anything but playing and buying GTA. This is, completely unique situation to any other game on the planet. That it is not even an 800-pound gorilla. It is the 8,000-ton Godzilla. No, it's almost arguable you shouldn't even release in the same quarter as this game.
There were rumors that Fable would be delayed to get out of their way, and I think Microsoft tried to or Xbox tried to shut those down, but we don't know for sure.
No one should. I'm a little concerned for Call of Duty.
Yeah, so GTA 6, for reference, GTA 6 has an announced release date of November 19th. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 has a rumored release date of October.
November. That's right. That's what it was. And I said it has to be October and it can't be any later than like October 15th to October 20th. Yeah. Either that or they have to release in January.
And Fable just has autumn 2026. And that's interesting because Fable is an Xbox game and Call of Duty is an Xbox game. So you don't want to release both of those too close to each other.
Somebody's going to have to take the hit.
Yeah, I think it was Jeff Grubb, based on Reddit. Jeff Grubb had heard that Fable is going to be pushed internally. That doesn't mean it's coming out next year. Apparently, they're sure trying to get it out this year, but they're worried about the launch of GTA 6. And so getting delayed beyond the release of GTA 6 could push it into December, which would make it a prime candidate to get delayed into 27.
Yes, that's what they should do. My humble opinion, that's what they should do. But the knock-on effect of the GTA being in mid-November, is that is going to make the pre-release and the early 2027 release windows very crowded because now everybody's left that space. And maybe that's a smart thing for Xbox is to release in that window because the GTA people and the Fable people are two different kind of people.
They are, but I think so.
And if you're the only other game other than GTA, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing for you if you are the only other game other than GTA.
They are two different people, but I think my Xbox wants Fable to be the big game of the moment because they need the good publicity, they need the good vibes, and if Fable lives up to all of that, they need people talking about it. They need people on podcasts talking about Fable. They need streamers playing Fable. If it comes out again, like within the same vicinity as GTA, even if it's a good game, GTA will still take up the conversation. And that means Fable will just be hey, it's that really great game that came out on Xbox that nobody talked about because they were playing GTA.
Devil's advocate.
So wait,
So
first I just wanted to say AC Wraith had something. He said, I think release dates for GTA on PC tend to mean even less than those on other games on PC. Even if you don't need the discount, you need the late optimization updates. I don't even think it's been announced for PC yet.
yeah, I
Okay,
don't
yeah.
think so
So
either.
that was just something he said a bit ago.
So devil's advocate on here. You have to think about from a podcaster's point of view. If everybody leaves that space and there's only GTA out and all podcasters can talk about is GTA, that's a really good thing to have another game. You're the only podcaster talking about Fable. Everybody else is crowding this space of GTA streams where you can't possibly get any air because it is absolutely saturated. Nobody's doing anything different because everybody's playing GTA. You're the only guy on Twitch playing Fable. Everybody who doesn't want to watch GTA streams is going to watch you.
Yeah.
So for the same reason that Fable releasing in that time might be a good idea, in that if you don't like GTA, there's only really one other game to play but Fable. Same thing with podcasters. You're going to want your unique selling proposition on Twitch. You want to be that one playing that one game that everybody knows but nobody else is playing. And you're the only one playing it on Twitch. Everybody's going to be watching you. Yes, I think that arguably, I think Fable might want to release in that window and not worry about it because so many other games have abandoned that time space. It gives you a unique advantage within that space, especially if you are one, name recognition. Don't have to worry about that with Fable. Everybody already knows what Fable is. You're not trying to gain you're not trying to forge new ground as far as people recognizing what you are. So there's already a built-in, baked-in interest. But two, you're not the same game. You so uniquely different from GTA that you're not going to be competing with it. You are going to be living the same, in the same space with it.
Classic counter programming. I know you see this a lot in
Classic
movies
counter programming.
where like John Wick this isn't accurate, it's just an example of like let's launch John Wick Chapter 4 next to a Minecraft movie because those are two very different audiences. They're not going to eat each other.
Let's launch John Wick next to Pride and Prejudice because that's in two entirely different audiences and one is probably not going to be interested in the other, and if people want to see both, they'll see both.
Yeah, let's do a romantic
but you're not going to be
comedy
competing with each other
against an MCU movie.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. And
people are going to be looking for alternatives at that point in the same way that with those two movies. If, he wants to go, well, I'm using this as a example. She wants to go see the John Wick movie and he wants to see the romantic comedy. They can both go to the movies together and see different movies, or they're already going to the movies anyway. So they'll see both because they went last weekend to his movie. They'll go next weekend to her movie.
That's what made the Barbenheimer meme so popular. Is that those they were counter programming.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just happened to
what would be the Barbenheimer of Fable and GTA? Grand Theft Fable?
FTA?
FTA? Fable?
Fable Theft Auto?
Fable Theft Auto.
Grand Theft
It could
Fable?
be the season of Grand Theft Fable. Yeah, it could be a very, that could work as counter programming between the two of them.
Yeah.
Better to do that. You couldn't do that with Call of Duty because of course they're competing for the same audience. So
yeah, those are both big general audience games.
Yeah.
Kropokin says, evening, I'm marveling that you think there will be a November this year. Just saying, that's a big assumption. And I agree with AC Wraith. It's like, yes, we will have a November in the US. Whether or not we'll be able to reliably vote during it is a different question. But look, time marches on endlessly, unforgivingly. November will come and go. What happens during November? Who the fuck knows? But November will come. Even if the human race is gone, November will come.
November will come. And
Mhm.
I think given mid-November, we're all going to need to play something.
Yeah, we're gonna need to lose ourselves in GTA.
Mhm. Yeah, we're going to need to lose ourselves in GTA or Fable. We're definitely going to need a distraction. Mark my word, we're going to be fine.
Okay.
Kropotkin, don't worry. We got this. We got this.
Oh,
Although I will say Monday morning, I mean, this is like political talk. Sorry. If you're not into politics, move on. Political talk. My boss, Monday morning, we had our general staff meeting, and we got to our section of the staff meeting where it's random information, news items, errata, miscellaneous kind of like announcements, where we just essentially talk politics. And of course, everything went down with Eric Swalwell the week before. And we all know that one of our founders is good friends with Eric Swalwell. And in fact, a couple of weeks ago was like, we might be doing some work for him. It's like, so we all it came to that errata and everybody got quiet. We all looked over. It's like, all looked at him and he's like, I'm really good at picking him. $55,000 of political contributions spent for nothing. It was not just him; it was other candidates that he'd also backed that had subsequently dropped out. So pretty much, he's the kiss of death. If he this season, if he contributes to your campaign, buckle up because something bad's about to happen.
Oh, on Remap Radio, one of the hosts, Rob Zachney, has taken up this. He gets into a lot of games that then get shut down, and so the other crew have taken to calling him the anti-influencer, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I really like Marathon." He's like, "God damn it, I really like this game."
Well, it's like me and buying the collector's edition of any game.
Yeah.
The special edition of any game, I am the kiss of death. It has happened now, what, 3 times?
Yeah. Okay.
And I bought 2 copies of the collector's edition for
Starfield?
No,
Destiny.
I bought up. That was Destiny. What was the
those
one?
are the only 2 I remember.
I bought the double one with oh god, I'm having a total brain fart.
Oh, Dragon Age? Dragon Age. Vanguard, Veilguard.
Veilguard. That's it. Veilguard was the thing I was trying to think of. Yeah, I bought 2 collector's editions of Veilguard. I still have them.
Oh god.
What else am I going to do with them? One of them is completely unopened. Sell it for what? Nobody wants them.
So look, you can sell it for $30. You got to get something for it. It's a pack-in with the Steam Deck. Buy a Steam Deck, get a special edition.
I was so proud of myself. I was limited to 1, and I ended up getting having 2 accounts that I didn't realize I had 2 accounts with them, and buying 1 on each of the accounts. So I ended up with 2, so that I have 1 for myself and then 1 to sell when Veilguard rock this world.
Look, hang on to it. And then in like 20 years, you can give it to a museum as an artifact of video game history. Sealed copy of Veilguard.
And I still have my Starfield collector's edition. Granted,
at least that came with a badass watch. I will always defend special editions that come out with cool physical shit. Like, yeah.
And I think it was Shonakin that scored me the Pip-Boy version.
Oh yeah, from Fallout 4.
Fallout 4.
That's also cool. Yeah. I can't fault you for those. Like I can make fun of you for like, oh yeah, Starfield wasn't super great, but that watch is still really cool. The Pip-Boy is still really cool.
Yeah, I just have with the Veilguard, all I have is a big plastic sword that lights up. It's all right. It's kind of cool, but it's not super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and collector's editions.
Anyways, following on, I can keep going with another sequel news story.
Okay.
So you know how PlayStation raised its prices on everything, And I went out and bought a PS Pro before the price increased. I was not the only one to do that. Apparently, PS5 sales are double what they were this time last year.
Yeah, and that's
like-
to be expected, but it's also a nothing burger because that means that they're going to instantly drop off. And the
Oh, yeah.
secondhand sales of PlayStation 5 non-pros are going to go up.
Oh, yes. No, I just thought it was a funny news story of like, oh, yep, this is what they wanted. They wanted to see that little spike. They got a little spike. It's like, yep, this is.
You were not the only one that was thinking
racing against time.
Of course, you raise your price and I know that that's exactly
and you know
why
what?
they didn't raise the price when they made the announcement. They
Yes.
said we're raising the price on this date, knowing that there would be a run to the stores to get it before the price went up.
That I thank you for at least giving us a warning instead of just prices are now increased. Because if that happened, I wouldn't get a Pro. Like I wouldn't go out. I'd just be like, well, that sucks. I won't do it.
It's a cheap market manipulation is what it was. They manipulated you into buying now.
But I think
just thinking about it.
Did Xbox give a warning or did they just increase the price
They
of the
just increased the
consoles?
prices. Nope.
Yeah, no, that's fucked up.
Well, it's sort of fucked up, but at the same time, it's sort of not fucked up. Is that people that were saving or were considering or were thinking about buying it probably ended up just biting the bullet. So a portion of them did not buy it. Another portion of them just bit the bullet and paid a little bit more with this regret of like, fuck, I should have done it last month. With PlayStation, it was a little bit of a cash grab. They wanted to squeeze every last penny out of every single person they can because they're just getting everybody who might have been off the fence immediately off the fence to run to the stores to buy one. So it was a market manipulation. But to their detriment, because now anybody who was thinking about it has already purchased one and nobody's going to be buying it at the higher price. Or I didn't say nobody. There is going to be a significant drop off at the higher price.
Oh, yes.
So they've just front loaded all of those even sales. They just kind of front loaded it into that 1 week. And then of course the drop off is going to be a little bit lower for that higher priced.
Oh, yes. And look,
console.
Let's not forget that in earlier this year, when Sony had their oh god, what was this? I'm looking at a GameSpot article from February 18th this year. Sony had some sort of financial statement, but they said like we will minimize the impact of rising memory costs by focusing on monetizing the installed base. That's what this is. Hey, you got a PS5? You probably want a Pro. We want you to get a Pro. How do we get you to get a Pro? We're going to raise the prices in a week. So if you want that Pro, you should go get it now. You should go get it now. Yeah.
They hyper monetize their install base.
Yes, they do.
Everything
Everything that Sony does is going to be viewed through the lens of that quote. Which
that's Sony. Yeah.
Kropotkin says, I almost bought a Portal until I came to my senses. I live alone. I do not share my PS5 with anyone. No use case for it. Yep, they almost got you. They almost got you.
The FOMO. I don't know that if I'd had, $1,000 rolling around, I might not have done the same thing myself. I think I probably would have talked myself out of it since I'm really not even using my PS5 that much anymore. That I pretty much mostly PC because it's more portable than my PS5. But that is they did what they did, and it wasn't a dumb idea. They got the most amount of money out of the market as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
In anticipation. See, they don't even know what's going to be happening. I have heard.
Oh no.
That the bottom has pretty much fallen out of the chip market.
Really?
So much so that yes, that there are videos of chip they're not the manufacturers, but they're the distributors that are standing in like a room full of boxes of chips because of course now none of the data centers are happening. All the AI data center, everybody's pulling out of AI data centers. And now they're like sitting on this glut of chips.
A bunch of chip scalpers, basically, who are like, shit, I bought all this stuff and now I can't.
And now I can't sell it. I don't know what to do. I am surrounded by chips I cannot sell because they were essentially glutting themselves in anticipation of the massive amount of the chip shortage that sort of materialized, but then went away when there was an announcement that all of these AI companies aren't buying data centers. They're not actually making the investments. They're getting lots of money from stock market, but they're not actually making the investments in order to make those things happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the chip manufacturers though see it happening. And what they're doing is they are backing off their production to keep the prices as high as possible. So we're not going to see prices go down, but there is no more chip shortage. The fact is that the chip shortage doesn't really exist anymore with the announcement of the either closure or the non-creation of these data centers that we're going to be sucking all the chips out of the market, because all of that shortage was really anticipatory.
Yes.
That contracts were being signed that we're going to take all of your chips. But the chips hadn't been delivered. And now a lot of
cases, the chips hadn't been made. They're like pre-orders.
Right. They were pre-orders. Now they're backing out of these chip purchases. And so the chip shortage now doesn't exist, but the chip makers are like, we like these high prices, so we're just going to back off our production a little bit. So we're kind of living in the worst case scenario of the jacking of the market, in that the manufacturers are trying to normalize these increased prices because we've gotten used to paying these increased prices. And they may come down a little bit, but if it's 50% more of what we were used to, and then it went up, like if all of our prices doubled and then they bring it down to 50% and that becomes the new normal.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. They just got a 50% boost.
That's the problem with all sorts of inflation, is that prices go up, but they almost never come down.
Well, that's what happened with the tariffs too. A lot of people said when the tariffs happened and all the prices shot up, people were still buying the stuff. They were just really unhappy about it. So then when the tariffs went away or were reduced because the Supreme Court forced them to reduce, all the tariffs kind of got rolled back to a point. But the prices didn't go down because we've reset the normal of what normal prices are. So the manufacturers are all keeping the prices as high as they possibly can. They just increased the profit margin. That's all they did. They didn't lower the prices. They just kept more money in their own pockets. Welcome to capitalism. This is why tariffs don't work.
In the chat, Maynard said that about the FOMO, they almost got me this morning with the Neo Geo announcement. And then I remembered I already have an MVS consoleized and my Superstation on the way. I don't know. What was the Neo Geo announcement this morning?
Yeah, I don't know anything about. Let me see what the Neo Geo. Anybody can type it faster than I can look it up.
Oh, SNK is releasing a modern Neo Geo AES console with unrivaled authenticity and 70-pound game cartridges. It's basically the Neo Geo.
Yeah, the Neo Geo.
Yeah, the Neo Geo. But they were like releasing that Neo Geo console.
Yeah, for holiday 2026, with pre-orders opening today and the launch date set as 12th of November 2026. The Neo Geo AES Plus has been produced in collaboration with SNK, the producers of the original hardware. Celebrating 35 years of arcade perfection, I'm reading from obviously their press release. The iconic Neo Geo AES stood as a beacon of excellence, with 24-bit luxury super console a world apart from rival 16-bit systems. Honoring prestigious hardware in the manner it deserves, the return of the Neo Geo AES represents a milestone in retro hardware re-releases. In keeping with the original ethos of zero-compromise gaming, the Neo Geo AES Plus is no mere micro console, offering unrivaled authenticity designed to appeal to the true gamer and discerning collector. blah, 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 utilizes ASIC, presenting a wholly authentic experience for both hardware and software, looking, feeling, and playing just as you remember, with truly arcade perfect in each and every way.
This is such an interesting,
And it's
like,
going to be launching with Metal Slug, The King of Fighters 2002, Garu Mark of the Wolves, Big Tournament Golf, Shock Troopers, Samurai Showdown, spelled wrong, V Special, Samurai Showdown 5 Special, Pulsar, Twinkle Star Sprites, Magician Lord, and Overtop.
this is this is retro gaming taken to the extreme, with they're just putting out the console again.
Mm-hmm.
Putting out the console and individual cartridge games.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, that's really interesting.
Yep. Oh, yeah, he's
he's trying to
AC
put
Break.
the link to the YouTube video, I think.
Okay, I will look at that. So, yeah,
Yeah. Look, FOMO gets you.
Yeah, I mean, as it was, me bought a second
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck because I couldn't find my first Steam Deck. I should have just waited. Like, if I'd have waited a week, I would have looked up and seen where I put it down and not spend that extra $800. But I was afraid that I wouldn't have a Steam Deck, and I kind of sort of wanted a Steam Deck, and I'm glad I did, because now I have 2 Steam Decks and I can sell one when the prices are high. So, next item.
I've got a. Okay, I can keep going.
Actually, I'll keep going. I'll start my first one. So, as you know, Starfield released on the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
And that did not go well. And they also released with a bunch of new content with some DLC, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Yeesh. Starfield is apparently, by some estimates, sold only about 140,000 copies. Now, this isn't
really interesting, because a lot of the Xbox games top the PS sellers list, like Oblivion, Forza, obviously Call of Duty. But what are some of the other ones? That Indiana Jones was up there. Yeah, like a lot of their published games top the PlayStation list. So to see Starfield not, yeesh is a good way to put it.
Yeah. So it released on April 7th, and they released with the Free Lanes update and also some DLC. And this comes out of Alania Newsletter, which is a kind of industry rag that has been up to this point very, very accurately estimating sales. For example, they were the ones that very accurately estimated Marathon sales, and was independently through other sources, that once they said what the sales were looking like, other journalists went to their people and who said, it's a pretty good estimate. So they've got a pretty good history of being fairly right when it comes to extrapolating what sales may be. And according to Alania Newsletter says, quote, our estimates show that the PS5 version of Starfield has generated $7.7 million in gross revenue via 140,000 copies sold. It has done this in 1 week. While these would be decent numbers for many ports, it's not fantastic for a port of the biggest Bethesda RPG in a decade. It also signals that a 2.5-year delay for these ports to PS5 can seriously limit sales versus going multi-platform at launch or even 6 months later. Forza is an outlier there, however.
That is the exact same reason that we had for Sony pulling back on PC releases. Mm-hmm. Oh, you waited a year and now sales aren't what you want it was because you released a year-old game.
Right. And it is a good study, and anyone within the industry would behoove them to pay attention to it, that multi-platform releases are good. You don't wait 2.5 years to release a game that was very, very, it was a hyped game. It was a really hyped game. And it was a big disappointment for a lot of people. Now, they've done a lot of subsequent DLC, subsequent releases that has made it better. I haven't gone back to it after initially playing it and realizing it was a giant nothing burger that I bought the collector's edition for. But that having a game that kind of had that reputation already, that people remember of it being, wow, that was a letdown. It never really recovered from that. That wow was a letdown. In the same way of Cyberpunk 2077 will never get the stink off of it entirely. It's everybody knows it's better now, but it'll never quite get that stink off of it. And I think that they were hoping to pull a No Man's Sky, that they were hoping to support it enough where everybody went, actually, this is a really good game now. And that narrative overshadowed and they thought now was the time that there was enough counter argument that it's actually improved quite a bit. Also, with the release of DLC, made it feel like it's more vibrant, that it's still living, that it's still growing, that it's still being supported. But I don't think that the stink has come off of it quite enough to do that right now. And B, 2.5 years afterwards is just too long to release on PS5.
Yeah.
It's just too long.
And I do think, from what I know about Cyberpunk kind of needed a ground up revision. And that's what Cyberpunk 2.0 did. When they released Phantom Liberty, they completely redid the skill tree. They completely redid how you earn XP.
They made a new game.
They the world was the same, but the RPG system that governed how you interact with that world was completely overhauled. And people really, really love that new version. The problem with Starfield is that what makes Fallout and Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls so interesting is the open world and the way you can start walking in a direction and just stumble across things. And that sense of discovery is what they did so well. And just by the nature of Starfield being broken up into different planets, you don't have that discovery. And so the core thing that makes their games unique is not in Starfield. And so you can't really patch that out.
Yeah. And not just discovering things, but walking through and seeing the AI doing things that made you feel like you were in a living world, like walking through and seeing
seeing them go about their day.
Yeah, or what was it? The rad roaches fighting a mutant.
Oh yeah,
or mutants going along killing all the rat roaches around them. You could just sit back there and watch and go.
In Skyrim, when you stumble across a giant fighting a mammoth.
A giant fighting. Well, they actually have their mammoths, but a giant fighting a dragon, or dragging a dragon over where the giants are, and then the dragon gets distracted by the giant.
Yeah, the way those systems interact.
Exactly. That's how that stuff works so well. And it was like they forgot to put the AI in the game.
Yeah. They've added vehicles to the game so that now when you go to a desolate planet, you can get from point A to point B faster, but it's still a desolate planet.
Right. There's nothing there. It's nothing living. And base building is fun, but I don't really need to base build on 17 different planets exactly the same way, doing exactly the same thing. I don't really want to play Planet Tycoon in a space exploration, a Bethesda space exploration game. If I want to play a Tycoon game, I'd go play a Tycoon game. And it would have been fixable. It would have been fixable if they would have added more AI, just more AI things on all the planets. Maybe they could, I don't know. Even if they're the same way
of quality versus quantity, right? You can visit 1,000 planets, but most of those planets don't have anything interesting on them. And all the planets that do have interesting things on them are, big planets that are part of stories and quests, and they have all this stuff, but there's 5 of those.
Right. Needed to be 25 of those. You needed to triple or quadruple the amount of
just look, man,
interesting things.
Don't let people land on a desolate planet. Do what Mass Effect 2 did, where there's a big galaxy and you can go to this planet and that planet and that planet and that planet. you can send a probe down and get resources because that's all it exists for. Just put a probe down, get those resources, play a little mini game, and then leave that planet behind because there's nothing else there. You don't need to land on it.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Exactly right. But that was kind of the unique selling proposition of Starfield, of you can go to any planet, you can interact anywhere, and you can do whatever you want. And it's a great idea in marketing, but in actual practice, it makes for a very boring game.
Yeah.
But bottom line, yeah,
those are rough sales.
They didn't fix what was wrong in the first place, and then they released it 2.5 years later on the competing console. It's no surprise that they only sold 140,000 copies in their first week, which means it's probably going to be selling less than that this week. So, moving on.
Moving on to talk about good games. Expedition, the BAFTA Awards were recently. They occurred last week. And Expedition 33 took home Game of the Year. And that means that it has kind of swept the 5 major video game awards, which would be the Golden Joystick, the Game Awards, the DICE Awards, the Game Developers Choice Awards, and the BAFTA Game Awards. And it's sweeping those makes it the second game in history to have done so after Baldur's Gate 3. And yeah, it's just, hey, the game's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It is now officially as good as Baldur's Gate 3.
I am pulling up my next item. Sorry. Yeah, and I wish I liked it more. I wish I liked it more.
And ironically, or not ironically, coincidentally, the best evolving game that the BAFTA award for best evolving game went to. Want to guess? We were just talking about it.
Cyberpunk 2077 or
close,
or No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
It will be forever. They haven't forgotten it. They love it. They're going to keep at it.
Yeah.
All right, let me create a banner for my next item because I forgot to create the banner for it.
Okay.
Nick,
that was just a simple fun story.
I have a fun one for you.
Okay.
I have a question. Do you think, or I'll even open up to the chat room. Do you think that you can name the best-selling games in history?
Oh man, coincidentally, there was a YouTube short that I was scrolling through that was a guy trying to do this with asking the same question, and I'm trying to remember. Okay, I think
anybody in the chat room want to guess, because I have an infographic. Which even makes it more interesting because you can actually see graphically the orders of magnitude of the most popular and best-selling games compared to everything else.
I think I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm waiting to see if the chat does anything because I don't want to say the number one and ruin the game.
And it's not just number one. What do I have? Let me see how many I have on this. Stand by. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So they're the 15 all-time sold, most all-time sold units.
I know that a lot of the big ones on the list were Witcher 3. I think Witcher 3 was number 10. Was it?
I'm not gonna. Let's see, Witcher 3. No, it's slightly higher than that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 below it. So yeah.
Okay, so it's 8. I know that I think GTA 5 was number 3. Minecraft was number 2. And again, I'm only saying this because I literally saw a video about this a week ago. Otherwise, I would not be able to guess this. And
chat number one guesses.
Number 1 did surprise me. I haven't seen anyone in chat guess it yet. It was Tetris. Which is that that makes sense.
But it's not just how many. And actually, yes, those first 3 are interesting. But it is the amounts that they sold by comparison to other games that we consider monster hits. And then also games I never would have put on that list that are there.
Oh yeah, one of them. What was the 2D side-scrolling Minecraft game? Oh fuck, what was it called? It wasn't Terraria. Was it Terraria?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Terraria's on it.
yeah. Which is like, oh, did not expect that.
Yeah. I'm not seeing anybody. Anybody? Am I not getting any guesses in from the chat room, or is I'm
No,
just
I'm not seeing any guesses out there.
anyone?
So
Yes.
go put the graphic. I
Top
want to see the
15.
graphic.
All right.
I want to see it. We talked about some of them, but I want to see the numbers.
Oop. Sorry, my bad. There we go. So that's the top half of the graphic. Look how much Tetris has sold compared to Grand Theft Auto 5. And look how much Grand Theft Auto 5 is compared to other games below it.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's interesting that, yeah, you've got a lot of you've got like 1 through like 10 through 3. And once you get to Wii Sports, which is basically just how many Wiis were sold.
Right.
And
I think that actually says it, and you can't really see it on the graphic. It says Wii Sports was bundled with the Nintendo Wii at launch.
Yeah.
And like Grand Theft Auto 5, it says at release, Grand Theft Auto 5 became the fastest selling entertainment product in history, earning over $1 billion in 3 days.
But like Wii Sports and down are all just, yeah, we sold like 80 million. And then there's a jump to 225 million for Grand Theft Auto 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's which is like bigger than 50% jump. And then there's an almost 50% jump from that to Minecraft at 350 million. And then there's again almost like a 40% jump to Tetris at 520 million. So it's like you go from this big group to then big jump, bigger jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And considering how much Tetris cost to make.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are not necessarily the most profitable games in history because, of course, Tetris didn't cost much. So 520 million units is a lot less money probably than is a lot less money than Grand Theft Auto 5 with 225 million units.
Bundled with the Game Boy.
Right. So here's where it starts to get a little interesting is farther down. So it's 520 million units with Tetris, 350 million units with Minecraft, 225 million units with Grand Theft Auto 5. Now that's the big ones. Then it starts to get into this very tightly grouped stack. Wii Sports at 83 million, and as Nick said, that was bundled with the console itself, so all console sales count towards that unit sold. Red Dead Redemption 2, 82 million. Mario Kart 8 at 79 million. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds at 75 million and Terraria at 64 million, which I found really surprising. I did not realize Terraria sold that many copies.
Neither did I.
Yeah. Then The Witcher at 60 million units. Skyrim tied with it at 60 million units. Super Mario Brothers at 58 million units. Humans Fall Flat at 55 million units.
Really? Human Fall
Flat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which was above Overwatch at 50 million units.
I'm surprised
The
Overwatch.
Sims all the way down. The Sims at 50 million units. And tied with Overwatch and The Sims, Stardew Valley. Made by one guy. One guy makes that game. One guy.
Yeah, a lot of those are like, these are small games that just kind of go everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The perennial games.
Right. Because it's not about price. It's not about how much money they made. It's just about how many units sold. And yeah, it's impressive
how some of these like
fantastic.
under the radar they are.
Yeah, especially down here. The thought that humans fall flat is
Yeah.
just below Super Mario Brothers and just above Overwatch as far as units sold. And that it is above The Sims. And that Overwatch, The Sims, and Stardew Valley would be tied with each other for total units sold? What?
Which is interesting because those are all very different games.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a truly interesting graphic that and this is a graphic that comes from a website called, I forget. It is called The Visual Capitalist, who regularly puts out really, really, really interesting infographics about everything. Politics, social movements, anything. And it just happened to be that the one that was served up this morning was the best games. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I'll give you another one that they have here, just as an example. The SpaceX IPO versus the largest company IPOs. And it gives you an idea so that you could see how big, when SpaceX goes public, how big it is compared to all the other public, like
Or
bigger
how
than
big it's
Samsung's.
speculated to be.
It's speculate. Well, how big its IPO will be
How big they
right
want
now.
it to be.
Well, the highest IPO valuation is Saudi Aramco's in 2019, which opened at 1.7 trillion. A targeted valuation of 1.75 trillion puts SpaceX straight into the $1 trillion club.
Which is fascinating for a company that doesn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, they just have
Hmm.
always have really, really just
But
interesting graphics.
AC Wraith also said there's a time jump as well. 1985 to 2000. Most were after 2010, which includes digital distribution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, digital distribution definitely helps games like Stardew Valley, Human Fall Flat, and Terraria reach, any number of an infinite larger audience than Tetris. Tetris was super limited when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Krupakin, SpaceX is a complete fraud, though, funded by the American taxpayer. Correct.
Agreed. Agreed. Nick,
Okay.
you guys were not privy to it because it happened before the show, but we were talking about what I would do if I had had Elon Musk's money and I wouldn't have gone to space and I wouldn't have bought Twitter. I would have bought.
Though you would have used it for similarly petty things.
Oh, yes, absolutely. If you're gonna spend the money doing something petty and stupid, this is what I would have done. Yeah, it was. I was forced to go to Dodger games when I was down in Los Angeles, and as most of you know, I truly hate the Dodgers. Like a seething, I cannot stop myself from absolutely hating everything about the Dodgers. I hate their fans. I hate their players. I hate their owners. I hate their colors. I hate their stupid faces. I hate the Dodgers. And as I was sitting in the stands for the 2 Dodger games that I was forced to go to, one of the things that crossed my mind is if I'd had Elon Musk's money, I would buy the Dodgers and then systematically dismantle that team as slowly and as painfully as I possibly could in front of every single. I would want to see the headlines of the LA Times screaming for me to be murdered. I would take it as a compliment if they tried to firebomb my house. I would be soaking that that hate up. Oh, it would make me feel so good. I would just want to put it in a bathtub and bathe in the Dodger hate. That's how I would spend my money. But that's why I don't have many trillions of dollars to waste on that kind of stuff. Kropotkin says, that's mean. That's like me doing the same to Millwall. I truly don't think that there is anyone in the world that hates another team as much as I hate the Dodgers. And it has only been made, like, my distaste and my dislike for the Dodgers has only been made so much worse by dating a Dodger fan. It has turned it from being a just I don't like you to I sat in your stadium and actually looked around and plotted where I would put the C4 to do the most amount of damage to you, your stadium, your city, your paper, your faces, your names, everything. I hate everything about them.
Oh, what?
Ugh. So anyway, yes, that's, SpaceX is an absolute boondoggle. It doesn't exist. It's not real. And it's
Baltimore. I
what?
was do you remember the movie The Sum of All Fears?
Mhm.
There's a nuclear bomb that goes off at a
Yeah.
stadium, and I was like, where was that stadium? Oh no,
Yeah.
it was
No,
in Baltimore.
it's the Orioles Stadium. Yeah. Um, what was I gonna
I mean, I might have built some needed infrastructure for the populace, but sure.
Nah.
No. Look, if you get $1 billion, you're legally obligated not to build infrastructure for a majority of the people. You
Oh,
have to
no.
spend it on petty reasons. That's
No.
how the capitalism works.
Yeah. I mean, there's a part of my heart that would say that I would fix the planet and make things better. I would do a Gates Foundation and try to, get rid of smallpox and measles and everything else. But I don't know. I'd like to think that
That's number
I'd like to
2.
think that the angel would
Number
on this
2 on
shoulder would rule, but I know that devil would be sitting there going, "You could sell Ohtani's contract to the Dodgers or to the Giants for $1. And then take that dollar and put it into a San Francisco parking meter in front of their faces. Just YouTube that shit. I'll make them watch." Um
Anyways,
What was I there was something else I wanted to talk about that was off topic. We were talking about talk about frauds. And this is just like random stuff where at this point. So did you hear about Allbirds?
oh yes.
So if you don't need it, like you guys all you children are probably too young to remember the run up to the .com boom when if it was on the internet people just threw money at it, even if it was like people were throwing money at college kids because they had an interesting idea, like would throw millions of dollars at them when they were in college or in high school because they made something on the internet. They didn't know anything about the internet. They didn't have any idea what they were making. They just were throwing money at it because it was the internet. It was a buzzword. If
It's
you don't
blank
need,
online. Give us
Mhm.
money.
Right. And they did. And that's what essentially precipitated the .com boom bust. It all went away because eventually there was no there. Eventually the chickens came home to roost and there was not as much value in it as everybody thought their individual app that tied shoes for you, that showed you how to tie your shoes. There were some winners. There were a lot of winners. There were a whole lot more losers and a whole lot more people that lost a lot of money investing in bad shams that was online. Well, if you needed any proof that that's exactly what's happening in the AI industry, Allbirds is a company that makes shoes, has been making the favorite shoes of the tech bros and the tech broettes for years. You actually used to be our neighbor in next to my office. They were literally the next door neighbor, and they were assholes. But yeah, they made shoes. They were good shoes. They were fine shoes. I never bought a pair. Always looked at them, thought they're kind of sort of ugly flats, but everybody else says they're really cool and they're really comfortable. Well, they've, as with much with fashion, the favor has fallen out of Allbirds for shoes. They announced this week that they were pivoting and they were now an AI company. They were going to make AI solutions. And within a day, their stock jumped 540%. What does a shoe company have anything to do with AI? It's certainly in this market now the way it's oversaturated. But still, they said they're going AI with absolutely no proof that they're going to do anything, and their stock jumped 540%, which means that if you'd have had $1 in Allbirds on Monday, by Wednesday, you would have $540. That is absolutely insane
I
to
think
me.
it's also
How
crazy that
anyone could look at
they
this market and think that they should be putting money into anything AI is
they
beyond me.
also said that their specific role is we're going to create like we're gonna make a data center basically of what was it? Something has a service. It was like graphics cards has a service. That's what we're getting into. So it was like, oh, you're going to compete with data centers for memory cards that are already hard to get. Okay. How are you going to do this? But from what I saw too, the stock then did crash the next day. As
Of course
everyone
it
was like,
crashed the next day.
wait a minute, this is stupid.
Yes. Of course it crashed the
So
next day.
at least there was some sort of correction.
Well, it was because there was a bump and then there was speculation about the bump and there was more speculation about the bump. And it's like a bunch of day traders all jumped in on it because Allbirds was up by 540%. And then they sold the next morning, the minute that they could,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody knows it's not real. But I won't want to say that this is a defining moment within the AI boom, but I think that this is going to be one of those moments that everybody remembers when the AI bust happens. And mark my word, it is coming, and it's coming sooner than you think it's going to come. That this might be the moment when everybody goes, I think this is a bubble. Maybe I shouldn't just buy a stock because it says AI on it. I think this might be the moment of zen for a lot of people because everybody is now fully, because it made so much news, fully aware what happened there.
Yeah. Fingers
But then
crossed.
again, crypto is still worth everything, worth a bunch of money, and crypto is actually
Like
nothing.
like crypto is a thing, yeah, but NFTs, the thing that actually was the scam. Like crypto existed before NFTs.
True.
NFTs were like, let's try to make crypto mainstream. Let's try to disrupt images and art. And that's what
Hmm.
really fell out. But like the core of crypto remains. Even that's been kind of bumpy. Bitcoin has been like real bad for the past couple months. Yeah, what was the other thing? Streaming was the other big thing that a lot of tech companies wanted to get into because Netflix makes a lot of money, but turns out streaming services take a
They're
lot of
expensive.
money to make, maintain, and make content for. And Netflix has a scale that traditional movie studios do not. And so, Universal making their own streaming service doesn't really work out. Warner Brothers making their own streaming service doesn't really work out. I think Peacock is profitable. They've officially started going into the black.
But that's
4
because they
years,
own.
but also that's 4 years of in the red. Now this year they're in the black. That doesn't all that previous debt is still there. They can now start earning that money back, but it took 4 years to get to that point.
And a lot of investment, and they also are owned by the cable company.
Yes. There's a reason that like Amazon and Apple can lose money on streaming services because they have a war chest of other stuff. The reason that like HBO Max and Peacock and Paramount all struggled is because they kind of have to be responsibly run. They
Mhm.
need profit. They don't have this like endless money that just I don't know what the fuck can we
How to
do.
make $1 billion streaming service? Start with $1 trillion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you have to do.
So yeah, like streaming again, there is a viable business there, but it's so hard, and the Netflix model cannot be reproduced because Netflix got there first, and you can't replicate that.
Hmm. Well, I think also YouTube. There was other services that want to replicate YouTube, and all of them
Yeah.
failed as well. For
Yeah.
exactly that reason, is that it takes $1 trillion to make $1 billion video delivery service.
Yep.
So, all right. Any
Well,
other items you have
speaking
for? Yeah,
of Netflix, speaking
yeah,
of streaming, speaking of subscriptions,
yeah.
turns out the new CEO of Xbox thinks Game Pass is too expensive.
Really? Oh
Who
my! What?
who would
Who
have
would have?
thought? That's coming from a bunch of different articles from Insider Gaming, from Tom Henderson on Insider Gaming.
I'm still here. I'm just switching over laundry.
Okay. Like a lot of different rumors came out, not rumors, but like leaks came out over the past week. The first was that, oh yeah, Asha Sharma, Jesus fucking
Don't call her
Christ.
shawarma. That's racist.
Asha Sharma. It's just, anyways.
It's shawarma just comes. Asha shawarma comes off your tongue. I know. I know.
Look, there's a rhythm to that. That's
It
like
does. It is.
water. Asha said that, oh look, Game Pass is too expensive for players, and she wants to evolve it into a more flexible system. And then a couple days later, it came out that one of the new tiers that is being talked about is an Xbox exclusive tier, so that only first-party Microsoft games will be included in that tier. Which is like, sure, that's an option you could do, but then you still have the question of what do you do with Call of Duty? Because one of the reasons that Game Pass jumped in price last year was because they were putting Call of Duty on Game Pass, and they needed to justify, losing all of those Call of Duty sales, so they raised the price of Game Pass. If you have an Xbox exclusive tier, does that include Call of Duty? And if it does that mean that it's less than or more than the current Game Pass Ultimate? Like, how do you judge that? Or do you just take Call of Duty off Game Pass completely and lower the price that way? Like, oh, we're going to go back to $20 a month because now Call of Duty is a buy-only game. It's not part of the service. Like, what do you do? And it's so hard because, like, I think Modern Warfare just recently came out on Game Pass. Because a year ago, when we all played Black Ops 6 together on Game Pass, I played the campaign and thought, oh, this is fun. I want to go play the Modern Warfare games. They were not available on Game Pass. And I thought, well, this is bullshit. It's a first-party Xbox game. Why is it not on Game Pass? And turns out that is the same question that Asha is asking, that everyone is asking at Xbox, of what do we do? Basically, this feels like everyone at Xbox doesn't know what to do with Game Pass.
Here's what I would do with Game Pass. She's right. Bring down the price. Absolutely. Because I don't think Call of Duty being on Game Pass is a good idea. It doesn't help Game Pass. It certainly doesn't help Call of Duty, and it doesn't help Xbox or Microsoft because you're losing money. You're going to lose money being on Game Pass. Here's what I would do were I Asha, is I would have, I don't know if I'd have a whole tier. I might just keep it simple. One price. No tiers. None of that bullshit. One price. This is your price. And I would have availability to play these first party games that are the top tier first party games limited. You get 1 month free of Call of Duty, or you get 2 weeks free Call of Duty. You can actually play it for 2 weeks. And if you want to play it any more than that, you need to buy it. So that way that you're probably going to lose a certain amount of it. Go ahead.
What are you getting for your subscription to Game Pass?
Well, you're getting all the other free games that you get for free. That's why you reduce the price. You make it one price, reduce the price, make it very, very affordable, and you use Game Pass as a place to put demos. Your big games give either
I
a
don't know, because
demo
then
or a timed exclusivity, but a limited time
at that point
exclusivity.
you're
So you
paying for
don't.
the right to play a demo.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pay for a demo. Demos are free. That's the point
All
of a
right. Well, then
demo.
don't make it a demo. Make it a time you can have full access to the game, but you only have it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks so that you can actually play the game and decide if you want to, instead of having to rely upon other people telling you whether it's a good game or not, you get to play it. It gives a little bit of a taste of the game. You can say, hey, I played Call of Duty, and if I want to play more of it, I should buy it. That way you don't cannibalize the first party sales of the actual game itself, because of course that's held against the studio.
Mhm.
If Call of Duty doesn't sell well, if Treyarch's Call of Duty doesn't sell well, it's held against Treyarch. It's
Yeah.
held against Xfinity Ward. Now, did it not sell well because it was not a great game? Or is it your Game Pass thing that kind of fucked with our sales that we're being held accountable for, which is not our fault? We made a good game and it would have sold XYZ amount if you'd have just released it, but you put it on Game Pass and now it's selling this amount and now you're mad about this amount. Why? You're the ones that did it. It creates this adversarial relationship within their own internal studios against the parent company. Give it a taste, make it a taste test. Our big first party games may or may not be on Game Pass.
But that's so confusing.
But
And at
make it
that
a
point,
short period of time.
just put out a demo. Like, then just get rid of Game Pass and just have all your games have demos.
Well, because demos take extra time. Demos require extra time to build. Does it require a lot of extra time? No, but it does require
But then that
extra
can
work.
be,
That
hey, look,
extra work is an extra cost.
all Xbox first party games will have demos. Like, you could
They
make
used to do that.
initiative.
You do that, but
and now
that
look, Asha has made a whole point of we're going back to what made Xbox great. So go back to everything having a demo.
Go back
Get
to
rid of
everything
Game
having a
Pass
demo. Fine.
and have everything be maybe it's just a time gated demo. That way you don't need like, oh, we're gonna craft a specific demo.
That's what I'm saying. A time gated demo. It's the
But
whole
demos
game.
are free. I'm not gonna pay for Game Pass. I'm not gonna pay for the privilege of having a time gated demo.
You
I'm
pay
just
for the
not
privilege of having multiplayer.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
at least
saying you're going to
but at
love
least
this
that's
idea, but this is a
something.
palatable idea. This is a
No, it's
useful
not.
idea. I think it is palatable. If you made it inexpensive enough, if you made it $10 a month, $10 a month that gives you multiplayer and you can see the demos.
That does not seem worth it. Then
Or
what
I
about
should say they're not demos. If you want to make demos, great. Make free demos for other people. We will give you the game for 2 weeks and you can play it for 2 weeks. After that, we're going to take it off Game Pass. If you want to buy it, you can buy it. But we're not going to give you the whole game for free for $10 a month. Our deal with you is we're reducing the price. Your deal with us is that if you want to play something longer than 2 weeks and I'm not talking about all games, I'm talking about the big AAA titles, the big monster titles. Then you got to buy the game.
Then what else is on Game Pass?
All the other games that are on Game Pass.
So
that are existing on Game Pass currently, that were existing on Game Pass at $9.99 a month. All the other games that were existing on Game Pass.
If Witcher 3 comes out on Game Pass, is that time limited?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's not a first party game.
So only the first party games are time limited. Mm-hmm. I don't think other publishers would like that. I think it would lose a lot of games from Game Pass, which would then raise a question of why get the service?
Well, because it puts those games into other. It's a calculus. It's a calculus that those games will have to make. Would I put Witcher free on Game Pass? Probably not. But is Witcher going to be free on Game Pass anyway at this top tier? Probably not.
I don't know. I don't think paying for demos is the right call.
It's not a demo. It's the full game.
Okay,
It's not its own standalone demo. The demo, you can create a demo, put the demo out, put it out for free. Fine. Anybody can play that demo. But you can play that game as with many games, as with newspapers. You get 3 articles for free, and after that you've expended your free article permissions, and now you will have to pay our monthly in order to access our newspaper.
Yeah, but I get those 3 articles for free. I don't pay for those 3 articles.
Right. You get the 3 weeks for free on these games, and after that you're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, I can play it for 3 weeks, and then I have to sign up for Game Pass to play it.
No, you play it for 3 weeks. Game Pass gives you the ability to play it for 3 weeks for free, and after that you have to buy the game.
But then that, again, I don't see how Game Pass is bringing any value in that regard.
Because you get to play the game for free for 3 weeks.
But I don't get it for free. I have to pay the $10 Game Pass to play.
You're already paying for the $10 Game Pass to allow multiplayer.
But what about all the other games? Like, if Game Pass just goes to $10 a month, that's a good deal right there.
Exactly.
But that's also too good of a deal, and it will never be that cheap.
$15 a month. I get all the Game Pass games that are normally available for free, and our top tier AAA games, you get them for a limited time. That way you can play them and decide if you want them, or you can play them, and if that's enough, in some cases, like say Witcher, 2 weeks, 3 weeks might be enough to complete the game for yourself, and you never have to go back to it. So you save the money there. But in games that you want to have like a lot of play, certainly big multiplayer games like Call of Duty, you're going to want to have to, you could play for 3, like you and I, we would probably play 3 weeks of Call of Duty, and that's it. I'm probably never going to go back to it after that. Yeah. When somebody drops out of my friends group playing, I may go back to it maybe once every year.
Well, then that's just a subscription rental service. But it's a rental service where you can't rent the same game twice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a terrible rental service.
Yeah.
I've always thought that like a digital rental service would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We say, to be clear, I never said stop making fun of executives. I said, making the questionably racist jokes your first merch in ages was a bad look. No, we want to put that on a shirt, but also I don't want to call Asha Shawarma because that does sound mean. Mm-hmm. And I don't know enough about her to be that.
Where's Sad Nutella?
Sad Nutella, fuck that guy. He's Sadia Nadella made enough bad decisions at Microsoft and turned it from a product company to a service company that just shitifies its products endlessly. Fuck that guy. I think he has seriously ruined Microsoft, and I will happily be a little racist toward him because I think he's a terrible businessman.
Well, that's not racist. Nutella's not racist.
No, saying Sad Nutella, like purposely mispronouncing his
his name. Yeah.
Yes, but he deserves it because I think he's a piece of shit and a terrible business person who's only made the products worse and made me pay more for a shitty product. Mm-hmm. I'll call Asha Sharma an AI shill because I do think she's an AI shill, but
she hasn't proven herself as truly evil just yet.
Not yet, but she has immediately. We're gonna put some AI stuff into Xbox, so
Copilot on AI. I call it right now.
Oh God, the other day I tried to use Copilot to make a PowerPoint at work. It was fucking awful. I explicitly say, take these notes I have from a meeting. Put them into a PowerPoint. Do not use images, just text. Every slide, big old image, taking up half the slide. Say, nope, redo this. Do not use images. Do not use pictures. You only use text over and over again, like multiple ways to phrase it. Big old images, every slide. I'm like, this is fuck you, Copilot. I'm never using this again. But anyways, I think a digital rental service is a good idea, like GameFly, because, with GameFly, they had to mail you the discs, but digitally. Like you do this with movies all the time. You pay for a movie and then like you can keep it for a week, or when you start watching it, then you have 2 days. So if you start watching it, excuse me, and you stop for whatever reason, you can then pick it up within like the next day, but you have 2 days after you start it. A game rental service where you pay $10 to rent a game for a week or something like that. And after a week, it locks you out. You can do that. The technology exists to do that. But I don't think anyone wants to do that because I think there are enough workarounds to that, and there are enough ways you could hack that system that I don't think any publisher would actually want to participate in that. But that's a potential avenue for Game Pass of like get rid of the subscription and just make it like a pay per play rental service.
Now, stop me if I'm wrong. The video downloading services, video streaming services that you just mentioned, where you can rent it for, you have 30 days to watch it, and once you start watching it, you have 48 hours, and it can be anywhere from $20 to $3.99. Right?
Generally those are like $20 because usually a movie goes
Well,
from
no,
theaters.
we use it all the time. We use it every single night, and
Okay.
we always watch
Well,
$3.99 to $6.99. We won't do anything that's over $20.
So usually you'll have a movie comes out in theaters and then it goes to PVOD, which is Premium Video on Demand. Those are like new movies just out of theater. So and those usually cost like $20 because they're just out of theater, and you can buy those or rent those for any number of price. Then after a couple months, it'll go to like regular rental service where you can just rent it for $5 to $7 for a week.
Now, which service are we talking about?
I think AMC has a service like that. There's Fandango.
Amazon Prime?
Amazon Prime is more of the traditional streaming service. So I think they do both.
Yes,
which is a little confusing.
Yes, they do. And it works. The Amazon Prime allows you pay for your Amazon Prime, which does all this other stuff, and then you have access to Amazon Prime Video, which allows you to rent movies for a price.
Well, there's Amazon Prime, the streaming service, and then there's Amazon Prime, the video on demand service. You can buy movies on Amazon and they go into your Amazon account. And you can have
I'm not talking about the streaming service.
But you can have a digital library of Amazon movies. I buy this thing digitally. It's part of my Amazon account. Prime is also a streaming service where you can sign up for a monthly fee and you get a library of stuff as part of that fee. But that's also different from your digital library that you paid for. Yes, it is.
Is it? All I know is that every single night when Chris and I rent a movie, almost every single night, we end up having to pay for a movie on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
$3.99 to $6.99.
That's because that movie is part of the Prime Video service, but it's not part of the Prime subscription because you're watching a movie that's too new to be included in the subscription.
Not at all. Not at all. Many of these movies are 15 to 20 years old and they are behind a paywall.
Then for whatever reason, it's not part of the streaming service. There's a streaming service and a video service.
Right. So you're paying a monthly fee to have access to this group of apps, one of which will force you to pay a little extra in order to see content.
If you're not part of Prime, you can still buy all those videos that you buy.
Right. But that's not part of Prime. Even if you are part of Prime, you still end up having to spend money on those videos.
Yeah, because those are two different services.
Right. That's what I'm saying, is that people are not, you're already paying for this group of services that come from Xbox, which allow for multiplayer and other perks that come with it. The Game Pass If you made it less expensive, I think, and bundled all of the services together, make Game Pass and Xbox, that whole thing all together, like it used to be, where you would get free games for the month. All of that together, make it one reasonable fee, and then your first party games, you could play for a short period of time, or you could pay for additional. I don't think people would be that upset about.
I think they would, because with the Amazon example, you're talking about two different services, but then with Game Pass, you're talking about merging everything into one service that then offers you less for some games, but the same
It
for
doesn't
other
offer you less.
games.
What do you pay a month in order to play Xbox games multiplayer?
Probably like 60 to 80 bucks. I think that's what Live,
A year.
Xbox Live is.
Xbox
Yeah.
Live. Yeah.
I think they still
So,
have that. Do they not have that anymore?
yeah, I think it is. That's what I think I was paying $9 a month for its lowest tier, which just allowed for multiplayer. So it was $10 a
Oh,
month.
that's right. I think Game Pass now allows for multiplayer, which means that you have to sign up for Game Pass to do that. Xbox Live is Game Pass. Game Pass is Xbox Live.
That's what I'm saying. It's all one service anyway.
But
So
that's also
make the
confusing as
price.
hell.
No, it's not. It's not confusing as hell.
It
You
just
have to have.
confused me.
Well, because you remember the way it used to be. It's not confusing as hell. When you go online, if you want to play multiplayer, the minimum you have to spend is $9.99 a month, and you get all these free games with it.
Mm-hmm.
Make it $9.99 to $14.99, so whatever price you want to pick in that realm. Pick it right in the middle, $12.50 a month. And you have access to all the games. You have access to the multiplayer of all the other services that comes with it. Keep it simple. And for these big AAA games, the deal is we're going to make it less expensive, but for the big AAA games, you will have access to them for short periods of time, not the full game all the time, whenever you want it. If you want that AAA game, you could play it, decide if you like it, and then go. Now, that's not a demo. A demo, I think of it being its own unique. I play through it, and then it gets to the end and says, "Thank you for playing. Please go buy it." That's
Yeah.
a whole different piece of software that actually costs money to create. This is not costing you any extra money. I'm just time gating your access to it for a short period of time so that you can get the value, get extra value for putting your hands on it, getting in there, getting a feel for it, playing with your friends. Maybe it's all you ever play on that game is
But
that.
who,
Maybe you do
what
want it later.
publisher wants to put their game on a service where, yes, it's time gated, but you could also just play through all of it during the time gate?
Yeah, but 2
Like
weeks.
that. The problem with Game Pass is that it devalues games already. That feels like it devalues them even more.
I think that it would be enough. I think that it would be enough. The time, make it the time gate 1 week, whatever the time gate a game would need in order for someone to play it and feel like they want to buy the game itself.
And then does that,
It becomes like advertising.
oh God, what was I going to say? I just had an idea and then I lost it. Like, how do you determine what game does that? Because now you have a tier of games that's, oh, this is part of the service. You can play through all of this. Then you have another tier of games that these ones are time limited. Like, how much time limited are they? How do you determine what's time limited?
That's
Is it
something.
only first party games? What about other publishers? Because I guarantee you, most other publishers will say, we want our game to be time limited. And then what happens when you get to the end of that limit? Can you
I think it is
refresh that limit at all?
No, you can't refresh. I think you're going far deep into the rabbit hole of what my suggestion might be.
That's what you have to, those are the questions you have to ask. If you're implementing the system, like, you need the technical details of, well, okay, what, like, I'm gonna sign up for this version of Game Pass, and I'm gonna play Indiana Jones for a week. And I got fairly far into it in a week, but I didn't finish it. Now, what do I do?
Buy it.
Is it, but I don't want to buy it because it's $70, and that's a lot of money for a game that I've almost finished.
I'm not here to make you comfortable with the fact that you didn't finish in a week.
But
I'm here to sell games. I don't want to that was the problem.
I'm not gonna buy
That
a
was
game that
what
I already
happened.
played 90% of.
Right. But that's what happened with Call of Duty, is that Game Pass, we now know, looking at the statistics, Game Pass cannibalized itself by putting it in on putting Call of Duty on Game Pass. It hurt Call of Duty sales. How
Yeah.
do you find a way to create that, not wreck a pretty good thing that Game Pass is? They've already also invested millions, if not billions, into it. How do you keep this intact and clicking on all cylinders while not can't sacrificing your studios, not sacrificing not losing money on things like Call of Duty? That would be the way to do it.
Georgie, just don't include Call of Duty.
Don't include Call of Duty. Don't include Fable. Don't include Indiana Jones. And you know what? If you didn't finish in a week, that sucks.
I
But
mean,
if you want to finish that game, you are going to have to buy it.
I think fewer people would buy that game. But also, if you just take first party games off of Game Pass, then you just have the service Sony's offering. AC Wraith said, just give a general coupon for limited time play every month or so. And if a player wants to spend it all on one item, then so be it. That's interesting. Of like, oh, with Game Pass, you get a 20-hour coupon. Where do you want to spend your 20 hours?
There. That's that's exactly the same idea. But yeah,
That
there you
would
go.
be interesting. That's again also very complicated, not just from a tech standpoint, but like from a marketing standpoint of like, oh, Game Pass now offers you 30 hours free. What games do you want to buy? Then you can just download any game on Xbox service and play it as part of this hour count. It's
a
like,
bit like
okay, I guess that makes sense, but also like then that just again that really devalues the game because you're like, oh, I can play this for free. I'm gonna move on to something else. And how do you compensate those developers?
well, as it was, they weren't compensating themselves and they hurt themselves. Whatever
Well,
it is,
they
Ash
did
is right.
compensate. They
Game Pass,
compensated other people.
yeah, Game Pass is broken. That goes without saying. Game Pass is absolutely broken when it comes to their first party release, high value, high demand games like Call of Duty. If they put those games on Game Pass, they will lose money and they will lose sales. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
It's finding a way that it doesn't affect sales. And the only way to do it is to make sure that people are left wanting more from Game Pass.
I think you just take Xbox games off Game Pass.
But then what's the value of Game Pass? Then it devalues Game Pass. You can't lose you're between a rock and a hard place. The rock being you don't want to cannibalize, you don't want to sacrifice the sales of your first party games and hurt your studios. And also, you don't want to throw away everything you've created, all the money that you've spent. I mean, you could just get rid of Game Pass, but that would be such a huge.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
it's a huge
Yes.
loss. They can't just throw that away.
They
cannot throw
they
that
have
away
to.
at this point.
They
No,
have to.
I think that no, you're looking at it from strictly a consumer point of view and
No,
not
I'm
from
not.
a business point of view.
From a business point of view, I think Game Pass is more expensive than it costs more to support than it brings in. I don't think the subscription numbers for Game Pass justify the development of all the Xbox games and the cost to third-party developers to get their game onto Game Pass. I don't think it is sustainable in that way. If you take first-party games off of Xbox, then Game Pass only has to pay for the subscription numbers of Game Pass, only have to pay for paying third-party developers to get their games on the platform. that is at least more sustainable than funding the development of every Xbox game, because then every Xbox game has to justify itself through its sales. And I think that that's a healthier way to do it. That's what Sony does. That's just a healthier way to do it. I still think the subscription service is kind of bad overall, but if you want to make it less of a money pit, take your games off of it. Does that devalue Game Pass? Yes, it does. But guess what? Game Pass is already devalued. You
AC
devalued
Ray
it when you
says
jump the price.
AC Ray suggests you could make the coupon worth a variable amount of hours per game.
And that, yeah, that's some way to do it. But at that point, it's just a rental service. And then you just
Well, that's
reinvent
still my
Game
same
Pass as a
idea, is
rental
that
service.
everybody is allowed a certain amount of time on these high value AAA games.
Again, that's a rental service that's only available for a select number of games. And then you're
AC Ray
paying.
says make a digital currency, give out some per month or with special deals, and then give each game available for a time limited pay a price.
Yeah,
Then it just becomes like
and
loot
again,
boxy.
I think there's a way to do that, but at that point, you're reinventing Game Pass from a subscription service to a pay per game individual rental service.
Anyway, we've gotten way, way, way deep into this.
Yeah,
I think
Suffice to
that
say-
what
suffice to
she's
say,
right. There needs to be something
Game
changed.
Pass.
I
Game Pass is a mess.
disagree. Game Pass is a mess. I disagree. It needs to be thrown out entirely. Were I Asha, I would look into my idea and not look into Nick's idea, because I think throwing away Game Pass at this point, I think is premature. I think that there's a possible way to tweak it to make it work without sacrificing sales of your very expensive games and your very expensive studios and putting those jobs at risk.
I mean, those jobs are already at risk.
They shouldn't be.
Yeah, they are. There was on the Kind of Funny podcast, they were talking about, one of the guys was talking about a tweet that he didn't send out because he thought it would be too mean, but it was like something along the lines of, oh, Xbox, like, you're putting all this energy into trying to reinvent Game Pass. What if you just made 10 out of 10 games instead? Like, what if you just made games that people wanted to buy?
Yeah, there's that. Okay, any other stories you have?
This is just a fun little dig. Have you heard of Windrose?
I've heard of it. I have not played it.
Windrose is basically the game Skull and Bones wished it was. It is a kind of survival, crafting, open world, pirate PvE adventure game. It's Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but expanded in scope. And I've seen.
I think I saw a streamer
the
playing
ship
it, and it
combat.
looked really, really good.
The ship combat looks like Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Mhm.
It's what Skull and Bones was supposed to be. Anyways, it came out in early access like a couple weeks ago. It's already sold 1 million copies in early access, which is just a really great start for this game. And I generally don't play early access games, but I'm keeping my eye on this one because I think this looks really, really cool. And it's funny to see this come out at the same time Ubisoft was supposed to have an event for Black Flag Resynced this week, but they pushed it back a week for some reason. Even though on Insider Gaming, they had an article that was like, yeah, we saw a bunch of promotional stuff for Black Flag Resynced, and we can tell you what we saw. It's going to launch like July 9th or something. But Ubisoft like pushed back their reveal video a week. We're going to tell you what we saw, but they're not going to show you the video that we saw.
Yeah.
So weird situation. Again, Ubisoft, you think Game Pass is a mess. Ubisoft is even more of a mess. But yeah, Windrose looks really cool. And I'm really excited to see, like, finally someone is taking what Black Flag did and making a whole game around the ship combat.
Yeah, well, it's not just the ship combat, it's also ship survival. I watched a streamer the other day, just randomly came across it, and it looked awesome. It really looked awesome.
Yeah.
I would call it more pirate survival. and that the ship-to-ship combat is a part of it. Really, it's about PvE survival and shipbuilding, and yeah, it's pretty damn fun, and the combat looks great. It's I really enjoyed watching it and thought to myself, this looks like something I could do. This looks like something that might be fun.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. I don't know if it has multiplayer, but if it
No, it
did, that would
doesn't.
make it even better.
But that's the point. I
Yeah,
don't
true.
want multiplayer. Skull and Bones tried to be a multiplayer game, and it sucked.
Mhm.
It didn't suck. It was just it was meh. It was mid. But like finally, all these years were like, man, you know what was really cool? Black Flag. That ship combat was awesome. Why doesn't someone else do that? Why doesn't someone else do that? Why doesn't Ubisoft do that? Ubisoft couldn't even do it. Finally,
Mhm.
someone is doing it.
Yeah. It does look
AC
really
Ray
fun.
says the ship combat a la Black Flag looked okay though. I don't know. It looked like Black Flag, and Black Flag was a ton of fun.
Mhm. And I'm watching it too. And if you play it, I'll play it. How much is it? Is it in early access? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Hmm.
I want to wait for 1.0 because I
Yeah.
don't like early access games, but yeah, I'm excited for 1.0. I'm excited
Yeah,
to see a studio out Ubisoft.
the crafting, AC Ray says crafting, meh. And I would agree with you, except that the crafting is necessary to create your ship. And there
Oh,
was
wait, he said
another.
no. I meant that. Oh, positively. I mentioned hating crafting first.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
the ship combat all up Black Flag looked okay. Oh, he's saying
Yeah.
crafting meh, ship combat okay.
Yeah.
I see. I see.
The crafting really comes in order to build your ship, to build yourself armor. You know, it's survival. You
Yeah.
show up naked and alone, and you try not to be naked and alone. Um, all right.
Yeah.
Any
That's all
other
I had.
games or items you want to talk
Oh, I
about?
did have one thing. The Street Fighter movie. They released the
Yeah.
full trailer.
Yeah.
I have no investment in Street Fighter. That movie looks like a good time.
Okay,
That
we'll pull it. Let
movie
me pull it
looks
up.
that movie looks completely ridiculous and awesome. I watched it and I was like, this could be good. This could just
Mhm.
be like a good fucking time. Just like capital G, capital F, capital T. Like, is it dramatic? Is it serious? Does it have thematic complexity? Fuck all that. I want to see wacky people beat the shit out of each other.
I
And it
could live
looks like
without that.
it's got wacky people beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, it it has a little bit of the Big Trouble in Little China kind of look to it,
Yeah, yeah.
but in, with in rings and cage matches. I don't it just looks so ludicrous. I'm never ever ever going to go see this.
He's beating up cars.
So, it's a thought. You can tell me all about it. I don't have any reason
Yeah,
to go
I
to a
think
Street Fighter
it looks
movie.
like a really fun
I would
movie.
rather go see an art house film, thanks. But that's
So
just me.
pretentious.
I
So
am.
pretentious.
Oh,
Ah,
yes. Oh, yes. When it comes to my movies, I'm absolutely pretentious. All right. Well, any other items you want to talk about before we close out the show?
no, I think that was all that I had.
Cool. I'm most of the way through my 3 loads of laundry.
Do, 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 do.
What are you going to play this week?
Pragmata, Crimson Desert, and Replaced. I'm gonna try to finish Replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Try to start Pragmata and
Mm-hmm.
just Crimson Desert all the way.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm going to play anything. I would like to. I might. Who knows? We'll see. Try. Trying is all I can do at this
Yeah.
point.
Oh, there was a new Cthulhu detective game that came out that actually got really good reviews.
Mm.
Like a first person kind of walking sim detective game.
AC Raid
So
links Ubisoft's
I'll have to
Halifax
check
union
that out.
members agree to a settlement after the studio closure. So good. I'm glad that got settled. As you recall, they closed their Halifax studio and put everybody out of work. And
Oh yeah, that happened like a month after they unionized.
And so they went after him, saying that they union busted by closing the studio because they went union. And I guess they found a settlement. So that's good. At least they're not walking away penniless and alone. But still they're out of work, which sucks.
Okay, the terms of the compensation remain confidential, but
As
CWA
usual.
Canada President Carmel Smith said that Ubisoft respected the union and acted in good faith and professional manner.
Okay. Good
Yeah,
for them.
provide a statement closing it. The closure of Ubisoft Halifax was followed by closures of Ubisoft Stockholm, as well as layoffs at Massive Entertainment, Ubisoft Abu Dhabi, Red Storm, Ubisoft Toronto, and a 3-day international strike held by Ubisoft workers. There's no better summary of Ubisoft than the past.
And there was a big leak of spoilers for the new 007 game.
I didn't see those, but I did see that Lana Del Rey does the Bond song for the game, which is actually a really
that's kind of
perfect.
cool.
That's a perfect match.
Yeah. I was 007.
Yes.
Golden Eye.
Yes.
Huge game, massive game. Came out when I was in college. Did not play it.
Fair.
Knew a lot of people who didn't play it. So it's another one of those games that's in my gap, my big college gap.
It's a historical game. I don't know if it holds up.
If I play it now, it's not going to do the same because at the time it was
not.
revolutionary. And
Yes.
it's not revolutionary now. So I will go back and go, this looks like ass. It just doesn't, I can't.
This looks like ass. This plays like ass.
It was a game that was a time and a place.
Yes.
Kind of like Grand Theft Auto, like Vice City, time and place. It's a great game. But if I went back now, it looks awful.
Oh, you want a time and place? Go play Grand Theft Auto. Go play the first
Grand
one. Theft Auto. The top-down one, the pixel art top-down one. It's like, what is this?
How did this get a sequel?
Mm-hmm.
Even the old Grand Theft Autos, like Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah, go Grand Theft Auto 3 with the silent protagonist. That is such a radical change from everything else Rockstar has done since then.
Right. And you play it now and time it, like at the time it was like, this is amazing. And now you look at it, it's like Dragon Age Origins. I went back to Origins and tried to play it and I can't. It's just awful. I mean, it's not awful. But
part of it is just that, hey, look, you got to play old games like you watch old movies. Understand that it comes from a different time and place.
Comes from a different time and place.
Watching older movies is so wild because comparatively they're so slow. And a lot of that is just like the editing is just like you're just having one camera on these people for a minute. And it's like you're not cutting every 2 seconds. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the pacing of it feels so weird, but also it's a time and place. Like you just have to accept that.
So it's the 50th anniversary of one of my favorite and most formative bits of media. If I was going to point to one thing that shaped me as a consumer, shaped me as a person, shaped me in all ways, was a BBC production of the Robert Graves book, I, Claudius. And
I think you've mentioned this before.
Right.
Did this have Patrick Stewart in it?
It did, a young Patrick Stewart. I believe it was his first role. And first television role. And I did not realize this, but it's having its 50th anniversary right now. So you're seeing lots of stuff on YouTube, a retrospective of trying to explain what I, Claudius was and how huge it was. And something I did not understand when I was 10 years old and watching it. BBC had never done BBC dramas. This was the first BBC drama. And the way that it was, there was a lot of discussion about how this was supposed to be done, that whether they wanted to make it more TV-esque, because, up until that point, they'd been doing like Benny Hill and Monty Python, and they had television comedy, and they did have some drama, but it was all TV drama. And BBC's the production company, well, the producers of the show, really insisted that this needed to be presented as if it was a stage play, but with cameras. So you actually had camera angles, but it really felt, and it felt at the time, and I didn't really realize it until I heard somebody talking about it. It felt like theater. You were in a real living theater production as opposed to watching TV. And what they had done is they said, we're not so sure that this will work, but we're going to trust the audience that they will elevate to the level of accepting theater and go with it. And it became one of the most successful BBC productions in history. Certainly formative, because from that came all the other BBC dramas that you are now aware of. They're high art dramas, the Pride and Prejudice, Anna Karenina, Upstairs, Downstairs. All of those really started with I, Claudius, and it being, and you watch it now, and it is so slow. It's focusing on faces and reactions, because these are all highly trained Royal Shakespeare Theatre, Royal Shakespeare Academy trained actors. And it is about watching their faces. And it's theater. It's not television. And you watch that, and it is inexorably slow. But God, is it good, because then you start to appreciate how much we've lost in our high-tech TikTok. I hate to sound like that opening scene from The Player, but cut, cut, cut. That's what the problem with movies these days. It's always cut, cut, cut. Very much so. Is even more so now than even when The Player was around. It's about everything is pared down to the absolute bare bones, and it has to move quickly. You don't have any time for long facial reactions, or for a phrase to come out and for it to sit and to wait for that boom in the back of the viewer's head. Like it doesn't exist anymore. And you're right, it is slow. And sometimes you think to myself, oh God, it's so slow. But at the same time, that kind of slowness allows for reactions and thoughts and development within your own brain. It trusts the audience to stay with me. Stay with me on this one. Stay with me on this one. That doesn't happen anymore. You get the information and you should digest it immediately. And if you haven't digested it immediately, we're moving on.
AC Wraith had one last news story that I think is worth mentioning. Speaking of Picard, Star Trek, there's a Telltale-like Star Trek game that is getting pulled from all storefronts.
Oh.
He says, get it on Switch while you can.
Oh, I don't know.
And that reminds me that Disney removed a whole bunch of games from Steam and GOG and other digital storefronts. A lot of those games you never would have played, games you probably never even heard of, but there were a couple like cult Star Wars games included in that list.
I'm wondering if this might be signaling that Disney is thinking of creating its own game streaming service, bundling it to their Disney Plus.
Maybe. Oh, that's right. There was also the rumor that Disney previously invested like $1 billion into Epic, and Epic is making a Disney extraction shooter.
A Mickey Mouse extraction shooter?
It's like,
you know what? If they named it Mickey Mouse extraction shooter, that would be awesome.
That's right. That was the one other thing I just remembered. So yeah.
Yeah, I see says RIP Star Wars Rebellion.
This is why emulation is important. This is why, speaking of Windrose, Pirates never go away.
Pirates never get old. They just smell that way.
Pirates never die.
Okay. Anything else before we want to close out the show?
AC Ray, do you have any other last second
Stop
news
it,
stories?
AC. Come on. I need to pee. Stop.
He brought up the Union. He brought up Epic
Yeah.
and
He says it's an Arc Raiders-like Disney extraction shooter slated to be released by the end of the year.
I am so curious about this. This is going to be terrible.
I would love to play that with Chris.
Terrible,
Not my Chris, Pilot Chris.
Oh yeah. I would be down for that.
Yeah. Okay, we're cutting off our own cutoff guy, our own mod, our own community mod, our own chat mod. We're cutting him off now. Nick, anything else before you want to close out the show?
Don't ask that question. If you ask that question, I'm going to find other things.
All right. Let's close this out.
There you go. That's what you have to leave.
Thank you for listening to GameHound.
The film adaptation of Call of Duty is going to be released
is something happening to your... Oh my gosh. Oh, something's happening to Nick. Oh, what a shame. Thank you for listening to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 816. We recorded this on Sunday, April 19th, 2026. I'm Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola. Ways to get a hold of us. GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. We record the show live every Sunday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Facebook and Twitch, we are the GameHounds. On YouTube, we're GameHounds Vids, all one word, VIDS, as in videos. GameHounds Vids. He always shut his news tab minutes ago. Screw you, AC Ray.
He's just going through his archive.
So if you're still here, all 5 of you that are listening right now, because we're at the end of the show, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, just give us a thumbs up, whatever you need, that would be great. Also, if you are not already subscribed to us, please do so, especially on Twitch. That would be very helpful for us. You have no idea the difference it will make, mostly because, we'll talk about it as sometime future show, but yeah, it will make a huge amount of difference if y'all subscribed. If you've got Amazon Prime and you have your one free and you haven't already used it, your one free subscription on, not Amazon Prime, one free subscription on Twitch, please consider us. It would be deeply appreciated. Also, if you want to show us some love and help keep us on the air, because that may be a thing this year, $1 a month is all we ask. GameHounds at patreon.com/GameHounds. That is where you can actually become a subscriber to us. We don't gate our stuff. We don't gate our stuff. We don't gate ourselves for a reason, because we love you. But it helps us immeasurably to subscribe to us and to go to our Patreon, patreon.com/GameHounds, $1 a month. We don't want to have to gate our stuff in order to make money, let's just say. So please do so. Also, don't forget, we do have a Discord. Discord is on the show page right now, and we do release as a podcast. If you listen on the podcast, please leave us feedback. And information on the Discord is on the description of that podcast, wherever you find this podcast. Nick, thanks for being on the show, and thanks for holding it down for the last 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll talk to y'all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye. I should note